Oop. Okay, and then... So, we will start the day before the first investigation with Evelyn Vennice.
Oh, wonderful.
So, what sort of acting thing would you be pursuing? Would it be a play of some sort?
It would be more of a stage performance.
Okay, so for the past... So you've probably been doing a stage performance for like a couple of weeks now, maybe 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, rehearsals.
Yeah. Rehearsals and eventually, in the past like week and a half, the actual performance has been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you've noticed something that's maybe a bit odd. It probably wasn't your first time doing it, maybe not even your 3rd or 4th, but you've noticed that every other day, or maybe every 3 days or so, it's sort of hard to track as that you've been gathering a large crowd, quite luckily, this time. That there's been a man reoccurring in the crowd basically every performance that you've actively been looking out for him. He's sort of he's at different points in the seating every performance, but he always wears he's quite thin. You can guess maybe tallish from but he's been sitting down, so it's sort of hard to tell. With sort of blonde hair combed to one side, and always wearing this sort of blue suit with a red cravat.
I'm curious.
And it's probably just as the show run for the play is beginning to come to an end, that as you it's raining right now, as this time of year, and in Arkham especially, as it's sort of fall now, the rains normally come quite heavily and almost consistent, like throughout the entirety of fall, until winter comes and the snows come with it. That it's probably quite late. You've got Wilbur, is that your dog's name?
Wesley.
Wesley, thank you. You've got Wesley on lead, and you've probably got an umbrella up, and you're walking back home. When you see this man sort of standing, leaning against the side of the stage house in the rain. Theatre, sorry. So at the side of a theatre in the rain, sort of eyes closed, hands in pockets. He doesn't seem to have noticed you.
Is he?
He's quite wet.
Well, he looks rather suspicious. I wouldn't say I'm an unpolite person, but at this particular time, I think I'll pass it up and head home.
So, as you begin walking, you sort of hear, hey, hello there. He's sort of, you think he's, as you started walking the opposite direction, he noticed you, and he's sort of approaching from behind. Hello.
In which case, she'd sort of stop and turn around, glance over her shoulder. She'd go, oh,
Yeah.
hello, can I help you?
Yes, he sort of stands there a bit awkwardly, a hand like scratching the back of his head. Yes, you're the lead in this play, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. I just want to say that you're quite beautiful. He sort of laughs awkwardly. Yeah. I don't really know how to say yes. You're very beautiful. And you. I just want to say that you give an astounding performance, and well, he sort of looks off awkwardly. My name is Judas Everfull. I was wondering if I could give you my number.
She'd sort of hesitate for a moment, glancing to the side slightly and go, I've been told by my agent I shouldn't accept numbers. I'm really sorry.
It's okay. He sort of looks a little bit rejected. And, I guess it was worth a shot. And he,
I am quite flattered, though. Thank you.
it's no problem. It's no problem. And could you roll me a spot hidden, please? So that's a D100 against your spot hidden skill.
So that's a 27, and that is a success.
So, as you turn around to walk away, you notice he gives you a look, specifically a look at your right hand, before he turns and walks away.
I feel like at this point, Wesley would sort of be tugging at the lead.
Yeah, he seems on edge. Wesley does at this man, and you also notice him sneer at the dog a little bit as he walks away into the rain, pouring down and soaking his clothes and sticking his hair down onto his forehead.
Well, she'd sort of pick up her pace, sort of tug at the lead a bit, and go, "Come on, Wesley. I don't like this situation any more than you do, but do try to be polite."
Yeah, you get a you keep yourself mostly dry on the walk home, and luckily there are no further events as you walk through the dark streets of Arkham to your apartment, probably in one of the more higher class areas of town. Though you do remember the look he gave you, specifically your hand, was very odd. So you can't tell what he was feeling as he was looking at your hand.
She'd sort of glance her hand over just to make sure nothing was odd or out of place.
Nothing was on there.
Is this a fucking JoJo?
Everything is just gonna be a JoJo.
Not everything, don't worry. But
this is so freaky. Okay.
So
you really do meet some odd people in the city.
Yes, Arkham, though sleepy and quite unnoticeable in this time of the century, where everything's being focused on the stock markets in New York and all that. In the 1920s, Arkham is a very quiet and a very small town with its fair share of oddities. But you sleep fairly well for the night. And in the morning, the rains have quieted down a little bit, but they're still pittering. They're probably going to be pittering for a few days now. Until you notice, you've probably woken up. Your sleep, although fairly average, you slept a bit longer than you would have anticipated. Probably only woken up because you hear Wesley barking in the living room, trying to get your attention for food.
Oh. All right, I'm up. And she'd sort of like semi-stumble out of bed, slip on some slippers and a nightgown, and sort of quietly pad into the room. Just go, God, you aren't half the alarm clock, are you?
he pads on up to you and sort of nuzzles his head against your leg.
Well, she'd sort of pat him on the head as she leans down into a cupboard to grab out a scoop of dog food.
Yeah. Your hair's a bit of a mess. Yeah, this time in the morning, you certainly need to probably put some makeup on, get yourself ready. But Wesley's appreciative of the food, at least, as he chows down. Though you notice that there's, in fact, a letter for your letterbox.
How odd. She'd sort of stride on over, open it up, check the address just to see if it's sent from anyone she might recognise.
Yes, it's definitely to you. It says it's from a Duncan Smith, who you vaguely remember as a friend from your father. A friend of your father's.
I wonder what he was like. And she'd sort of grab like a knife, open the packet rather neatly.
Yeah, you get a letter opener and you quickly slice across. And to summarise it, he basically says, I know it's been a long time since we last met, but I am in desperate need of some assistance with a situation I'm having with a property I own. You vaguely remember that he was a man in property. a friend of your father's from probably college or university. You don't know which. And but he's in desperate need of some. He says people of good repute. And
Well,
he's
for him to reach out, it must be important.
Yeah, he's requested if you are available to meet him at his house at your nearest convenience, preferably maybe afternoon or early or late morning.
I see. Well, I best get ready then.
As a
We
note,
should go about-
it is Saturday for everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, she'd sort of get into the bathroom, put on some light makeup, do her hair up so she looked presentable, and wait for Wesley to sort of finish before heading on out. And she doesn't leave home without Wesley.
Yes, of
Unlike
course.
before.
Then next we will move down the up the list to you, Arthur.
Yes.
So you've been living in Arkham for a little bit of time now. You weren't born here, were you?
No, I was born in LA.
Yeah, you were born in LA, but you've moved here recently to pursue archaeological pursuits. Probably make some contacts, I assume, or just to live in the area.
Maybe a bit of both.
Yeah, it's very different from Los Angeles. It's a lot quieter,
Yes.
which is something you probably took a while to get used to for the first couple of days.
Yeah, I'd assume he would.
But you two, you probably the same Duncan Smith. You probably would have gotten contact with Mort when you more that he's probably like your landlord of wherever you live, or at least where you maybe might have bought the property off. But you get a very similar letter asking for your assistance. Though his is worded more like, I know we don't know each other personally, but I recall you being of good repute, an archaeologist, I believe, and someone of your skill set, I believe, might be required in an issue I am currently having. You will get at least $50 from the expense if that persuades you. As a note, $50 is about $500 current money.
Yeah, I know.
You do have his address. It's in a particularly high-class area of Arkham, though the divide between high and low isn't particularly extraordinary. Everyone here is sort of at a similar wage.
Yeah. Arthur's going to mull this over for quite a long time, a few hours. And eventually, I suppose he would eventually decide to see what's up.
Gordon.
Ah, yes. What?
So, you've probably not been having a great week. There's been a abundance of students not handing in their homework.
Oh, excellent. People taking university quite seriously.
Yes, exactly. Like, Jessica's not focusing on the book that you're currently studying. Ralph's just not there half the time. It's probably been a bit of a nightmare.
Yes, I imagine it's not great, but, you know, they're the ones paying for their university. If they're going to waste it, it's not my money being wasted.
Yeah, true. Chances are you actually, if you were to know Duncan, I assume you'd know him as he's quite reputable in the area. And were you born and raised in Arkham?
That I was.
Then yeah, he's sort of a bit of a figurehead for a lot of the property market in there. So you probably
Yes,
at least
I'm quite well aware.
yeah, you could probably at least run into him. Probably at least had a couple of conversations.
Oh, most certainly, especially with my living arrangements.
Yes. So so you're probably not as surprised to receive a letter asking for specifically your repute because you are a university professor. You're also probably quite well known. Probably not amazingly well known, but people know who you are.
Yeah.
And it is a day off, so it's Saturday. If that would assist in your persuasion.
Excellent. Yes, I would probably just head on over. I don't have much else to be doing, unless it's grading those who haven't even handed in their homework. So, I suppose I would just head on over via car or any other means of transportation I possess.
Would you have a car, or would you just walk or take bus? Because Arkham isn't a particularly large town.
I suppose he would walk, but I could see him owning a car, or at least a decent-sized house or something.
Yeah, probably at least have a decent-sized house. You are a university professor of high repute.
Precisely. So yes, I would just head on over.
Good. And finally, Joel.
Hello.
So, Duncan for you is probably actually a war buddy, as he too was a pilot. Mostly on the latter half of the war, as he was conscribed into the military eventually, as opposed to you can remember him not being particularly pleased about doing that, as he did have a business back home to deal with.
Yeah.
But he's probably an old war buddy of yours, who probably didn't face a lot of action. Was probably only in a few battles, like significantly less than whatever you faced. And you too also in fact you probably wouldn't get a letter. You probably get a personal phone call from him, probably early in the morning. He probably wakes you up. In fact.
Yeah, just like kind of get up from sleep, like, oh, fuck. And kind of just like turn around, just get out of bed, just stumble over to the phone, pick up, and was like, who the fuck is this? In this time of night.
Hey Joel, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Drinking?
I really want you to just give him the fucking sweet mother of God, you dumb it! Like that kind of voice.
I would, but my voice would not be able to handle that. It would fucking die.
We both served in the war, and you're being a bitch about waking up at 6 a.m.?
Well, best thing, he's the one who woke up at 6 a.m.
Oh, I know.
But, yeah. Oh, yeah, Joel, yeah,
Goddamn.
yeah, drinking, were you?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. But, hey, I couldn't ask you a bit of a favour, could I?
What?
Well, I've come into a recent run of bad luck with a property I need, and I need people to do a little bit of digging into it. And seeing as I heard, or at least last time you told me, you weren't in any line of business, I'm sure you wouldn't be against the money, would you? $50?
Sure.
Pays the next couple of months' rent.
Yeah, I guess it's something to do. Gets me out of this shithole.
Yeah, just are you able to come around here? Let's say 9 o'clock.
Sure.
Lovely, brilliant. You've been keeping up well, or same old, same old?
You know.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll see you at 9 o'clock. I gotta deal with some paperwork. I'll see you there.
Yeah. Alright.
Bye. And here.
He just puts the phone down. Like, beside his phone is just a pack of cigarettes. So he's just gonna take one, he's just gonna light it.
Sort of hanging out of your mouth, the single mother look.
Yeah, just like, fuck. Just like, fucking headache.
I love Joel already.
Just like go over to a sink as well, just get a glass of water, fucking just chug the entire fucking, like, pint of water. Just like stare into a mirror, just wash his face, like, fuck, man. Some pretty bad shit.
Just as a reminder for you guys, do remember it's the prohibition. So alcohol is a big no-no unless you're going to like the like 20 speakeasies out in Arkham.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Wait, why is that? Why is that?
I learned a lot about that in school.
It was rationed at the time.
It was pretty bad.
What?
See, I don't do history, so I'm
Yeah,
actually out.
yeah. So as a note, at this time, alcohol is illegal.
Oh.
Yes,
so
alcohol is very illegal. They basically tried to make alcohol very, very illegal, and it led to gang activity. And
lots
just
of gang
people
activity.
transporting
And basically
alcohol
just
illegally.
lots of establishments that were. It's basically a bar, and we just pay the cops to ignore us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel probably has like a bottle of half-drank whiskey
Yeah.
as well. It's in his safe.
Chances are,
Beside his 45.
would it have been? That's pretty depressing.
Oh my god!
Wait,
What I thought this whole game was depressing.
He's got the bottle of whiskey right next to his gun.
Oh,
Jesus.
that's edgy. You're edgy.
He's a
That's an edgy
fucking
lad.
war veteran.
Yeah.
All war veterans are edgy.
But
He's
yes,
fucking. He's seen shit, man. I think he deserves a bottle of whiskey.
You know, a lot more than shit.
I don't think you've covered Kenneth yet.
He's kind of just gonna walk out the door, and that's just gonna be it for him.
yeah, okay. So, well, did you holster your gun, or are you leaving it back in the apartment?
I'll holster it and just keep it hidden.
Okay, good. So, yeah, so I'd say probably first arriving would be, technically, Kenneth is staying there until he can find himself an actual place to live. So, you've probably been asked, basically, listen, Kenneth, I need some assistance. You can stave off for, like, next 2 months' rent, 3 months' rent, if you just give me a hand, if that's okay.
Sure, sir. And I
It's-
just, like, nod my head.
Yeah, a couple of others should be arriving, hopefully by about 12 o'clock-ish. So, I'll make you some coffee, and I'll, just make yourself at home in the living room for a couple hours, if that's okay.
Thank you again, sir.
It's no problem, There's no need to constantly apologize. And he goes off and makes coffee, and by about, I'd say, like...
I can notice your accent and you're doing my friend.
Oh god. Don't make Gordon sound like that, that would kill me.
No. Gordon is not like that
Yeah.
at all.
But yeah, so, yeah, by about 9 o'clock, maybe like 9:15, maybe running a little bit late, you see Joel, Joel, you arrive at the building. He lives in a, like a 2-story house. You know he has, like, one of the upstairs bedrooms being rented out. He lives there with his wife and his 16-year-old daughter.
I'm just gonna kind of walk up to the front door, and just bang, just like freaking hit the door with the side of my fist.
Come
I'll
in.
probably jump. Just...
Well, that's Joel. Joel, give me a moment. And he,
Yeah, whatever.
Duncan comes out with probably another cup of coffee, places it down in front of you. Takes your old one and walks on over to the door. Sort of opens it with one hand. Now Duncan, as description, he's about like middle, like 5'6", maybe odd. He's a bit short, a bit portly, wearing probably like a black vest with like shirt and trousers, and a sort of half shaggy but at least kept brown hair. Sort of greyish eyes.
How old is Duncan?
He's like 50 odd.
So he's older than me.
Yeah, he's a bit older than you. He was Joel, just make yourself at home. Living room. There's someone else who'll be helping me. Her name's Kenneth, Filipino immigrant. If you're fine with that.
Fucking immigrants.
Yeah.
Fucking immigrant, that's really good.
Well, it is the 1920s.
Turn these parts out here, you hood
Yeah,
partner.
I knew this sort of thing would come.
Joe
Like,
Johnson.
Oh, whatever.
I knew this would happen.
Definitely, that's how I
It's-
imagine Joel's voice.
Yeah. Listen,
Out here, you hood.
With the cigarette in
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
Just looking at Kenneth with utter disappointment.
listen.
I'm just
Joel,
looking down at the floor in shame.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's just trying to make his way in the country. Okay.
Just like the rest of them.
It could be worse. Could be the ones I have to deal with. And he goes, coffee.
Yes, please, black.
Of course. He goes off and makes it. Could you please describe your character, Kenneth?
I'm surprised you like anything black.
No.
1920s. Oh my god. I couldn't resist the joke.
Nice.
But yes, Kenneth, could you describe your character, please?
Okay,
I know I see. Freaking Santa included where he gets black coffee, just pours in milk until it's all gone.
Oh my god. God. Yeah, so Kenneth is obviously Asian looking. Jin is kind of dark hair. It's slightly messy, but not like greasy or anything. His clothes aren't that well looked after. It's like he's pretty scrappy looking, but he's not completely like, I don't know, not like bum-ish, I guess. You know what I mean. But, yeah.
Yes.
Joel's gonna kind of
That's what he looks like.
just sit down, just sitting down at the table, just gives you a look of I just absolutely dislike you sort of look.
What does Joel look like, by the way?
Joel is like 6'2". He's pretty bulky because fucking 16 strength. So he has some muscle to him. He's got like a shrapnel scar on his left cheek.
Oh my god.
From fighting in the war and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kenneth is like really intimidated by this guy.
He looks really fucking intimidating.
He's probably probably not looking at him and just sipping on his coffee.
Yeah, sort of like looking to the side, sort of holding the coffee with both hands, legs crossed, just.
Yeah.
His hair's a bit messy because he just woke up like several hours ago. He just left immediately. Brown eyes, small beard, like
a bit of a scruffy one.
Yeah, a bit of a scruffy beard. Kind of brown to greyish sort of hair.
Yeah, because you're how old are you? Like 40 old, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm like 40.
Ah, okay. You're the oldest member of the party, I believe, in fact.
It's so I can call anyone kid.
Yeah.
Just, have the full right.
Well, I am a kid, so you know.
It's like, so kid, what's your story? Why are you here?
I just want to
It's gonna hit the table a bit and it's like, speak up. You see, Joel's a man.
I want to write books.
And then you're one of those who writes down but doesn't actually experience it in person.
Well, I was hoping.
Could you speak up a little bit, Joel, as well?
Yeah, I'm trying to do the voice, but
yeah, I know.
My voice is just refusing to go any louder.
In that case, I'll just turn you up a little bit on my side.
Cool.
I was hoping to experience things here in the U.S.
I guess that's fine.
So,
this is something productive. He's gonna he just has like whiskey in his pocket.
Yeah, like a little hip flask.
Yeah, and he's gonna take it and swig it, and then he's gonna put it back. He's gonna offer it to Kenneth.
Kenneth just shakes his head slightly. Just, I don't drink.
Just disappointment. Joel is disappointed.
You should learn to give it a peer pressure, kid.
Joel will remember this.
Joel will remember this.
Joel.
Kenneth is quite lanky. He's not buff or anything, so he is flipping terrified of this guy.
He's also quite short, if I remember. Is he or?
Yeah.
Let's bring up Kenneth. Kenneth is he's size 14. He's not too short. But he's got a strength of 8 though.
Oh my god. Joel's gonna look him head to toe, this guy's just scrawny as hell.
Yeah.
Like how can short stuff over here even help? He's more of a hindrance. Oh, whatever. He's put his flask back in his pocket.
Then Kenneth becomes a party wizard.
And then Kenneth suddenly gains tons of stats.
But yeah,
Becomes bulkier than Joel.
so
Just
You
walks
get
up to him, like,
steroids.
he just walks up to him like the tank from Left 4 Dead, just on his hands.
so next, probably arriving would be Arthur.
Yeah.
I assume would you have left quite early?
He would have, but not quite as early as Joel, perhaps.
And sorry, continue.
Yeah, Arthur would approach the address. He'd check the letter to make sure he got it right.
Yeah, you think
Then
it is number like 17. You think it's the right one. It doesn't have a number on it, but the ones adjacent do. So
Yeah. And then he knocks on the door in a almost formal style.
sort of like a
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, so you hear a little bit of movement coming inside, and opening up is Duncan Smith. See description I said earlier, like shortish, blonde hair, brown hair.
I doubt he's shorter than Arthur.
Yeah, how short is
'Cause
Arthur?
Arthur is size 9.
Then
So-
yeah, Arthur's up with like 5 foot, like 5, something like that. I assume.
5'4", 5'5",
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
By the way, how tall is size class 14?
That's like slightly above average.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
But it could basically be anything you want. But that's sort of like the ballpark.
Oh, okay.
I'm also just going to say, Arthur, as he's waiting for someone to answer the door, he actually pulls out his pipe and lights it.
Yeah, gives a smoke of the good old tobacco.
Yep, he has a pipe.
Of the demon substance marijuana. No.
Why not
funny
the
because
Drugstore.
It's
What's
also
that?
quite funny because he's wearing a brown leather trench coat, so he actually looks a little bit like a detective, but he's not.
Yeah, so, yeah, Duncan... Arthur, right? Kenneth, right? No, wait, you're Arthur, aren't you? I had the wrong character sheet open, there we go.
That's right, I am Arthur. Yeah.
Arthur, yeah. Just coming in, that makes 3 now. Hopefully it should be a few more.
Are we expecting some more?
Yeah, I need a lot of people with repute for this job.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, just make yourself at home in the living room. Coffee, tea, soda.
I'll have a tea,
Uh,
so long as you actually make it correctly.
Milk first or milk second?
Second, obviously.
Okay, that's the
What do
proper
you
way
think
to...
I am, uncultured?
He's like, yeah, that's the proper way to make it, of course. And he walks on inside. You hear the kettle being filled up.
Gordon is gonna sound awfully British for an American man.
I don't know, well, you're an English teacher, so you probably would have been taught by a Brit.
I thought Gordon was English.
Yeah, let's retcon it. He's English.
Yeah, you can retcon that. That's fine by me.
It makes more sense for him to be British than.
Yeah, probably moved to Arkham at a young age then.
Yes, rather quite young, but you know, British parents, you end up sounding like this anyway.
Yes. Good. Cheerio. And
Pip Pop Trio.
Top of the morning, you know, all that. Top of the morning is Irish. Whatever.
so yes, could you please give a description of Arthur as you walk in to this living room?
Okay.
At this point, Duncan has turned on the radio. I'm gonna turn that down a bit.
Okay,
Oh, I can
so
already feel the Bioshock influences.
Arthur is, as previously stated, about 5'4", 5'5". He has well-kept black hair. He wears the aforementioned brown leather trench coat. Has a well-worn shirt and cargo trousers, and he's also smoking his pipe. If that's descriptive enough, or
What colour is it? Like what
Better
colour is
than
his
my
hair? Like
description.
eye
he's
colour.
got
and
black
stuff?
hair.
Black hair, fair enough.
Well-kept black hair.
Yeah.
It's better than my description.
Yeah.
But yes, you see this Filipino fellow sitting there, sort of sipping on coffee. This burly 40-year-old, like lounging there with a hip flask of whiskey, and sort of on the mantelpiece the radio is playing.
Arthur just eyes Joel and Kenneth up, takes a swig of his pipe, takes it out of his mouth, blows it into the air, and then just says, "I take it you two aren't into archaeology."
What do you think? Glasses? Wait, do you actually have glasses on?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
What do you think? Eyes?
What do you think, pipe boy?
Pipe boy?
Well, you are smoking a pipe.
I've heard better insults from the dinosaurs I dig up.
He sounds like he has a long answer.
As if I care. Just here.
Kenneth is just like shrinking into the corner, like, oh dear.
So what's your name then?
I didn't quite hear that last bit. Say again.
What's your name?
So what's your name?
I'll do this voice. It's very fucking difficult.
It
It is
voice
really
to do
good.
this. Can I turn my mic any louder? No, I can't.
I've got you up to 200. I might suggest everyone else does the same.
Yeah.
So what's your name then?
He's gonna like gesture. He's gonna gesture to fucking Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur takes another swig of his pipe. Just, my name is Arthur. Arthur Orgloza. I'm from
Joel.
LA.
Joel Johnson.
And they like pull out the hip flask and just kind of offer it to Arthur.
It's whiskey.
He shakily takes it, has a swig. He can really feel it because it seems really strong to him. So he just shudders a little bit, redoes the flask, and just gives it back.
Just like kind of put it back in the thing. Just like,
So I take it you know Duncan then.
Yes, he's my landlord.
He's your landlord.
My landlord, yes.
Well, that's a shocker.
Yes. I'll see to you.
He was a fellow soldier. Got conscripted midway through the war. Feel sorry for the bastard. Seeing stuff like that really changes you.
Ah. I see. So you're the old soldier type.
Yeah, 4 years. Joined right as they allowed to start up.
I suppose you got your experiences of the Great War then, huh?
Yeah, it was in every battle.
it's actually getting progressively harder to do Joel's voice. It just gets quieter and quieter.
As the shrapnel gets deeper into his throat.
Yeah, it's the shrapnel.
You see this here scar?
I'm gonna point to his to Joel's left cheek.
Arthur nods.
Got that one in the last year of the war. Got hit by some flak. Fucking shrapnel. You fucking Germans. German
Yes.
piece of shit.
Thank God no one's playing in German.
Joel would be like pretty much. Joel's a racist towards Germans.
Yeah. Well, he's
And
racist
rightfully
towards
so.
lots of people.
Well,
I
he's
mean-
he's American.
Yeah,
It
I
is also the
know.
20s. I mean, the
It's-
Germans
it's
don't
the
think have a very good
20s.
rep.
Yeah, it's the 20s. He's a soldier. Who did we just lose?
Gordon.
Oh, Rip
Gordon
Gordon.
is offline. No.
he was going to be the
Gordon
next.
had come back.
He was going to be the next person we talk to as well.
Oh no.
Whatever.
Oh goodness.
Oh whatever. We didn't need him anyway.
He was he's only one of the best literary skills.
At this point, Arthur, because he's still standing up, he's going to go over to a adjacent sofa settee or whatever.
Yeah. So
And-
there's
and just
like two sofas and a couple of settees around. It's
Yeah.
quite a large, lavish living room.
Yeah, he sits down, takes another puff of his pipe, and then he just crosses one of his legs over. Like
I'm gonna
he's
take out
waiting.
another cigarette from Joel's stash of cigarettes he has, and he's just gonna offer one to Kenneth.
He's gonna look at it and he's like, and just goes silent.
It's just like after a couple seconds, Joel's gonna go, wuss, and then just put it back away. Just take another one out, lights it, just like grabs the one which he just finished, and just puts on the table and just crushes it with his fist.
Then Arthur
Snorts
turns-
it.
just like grabs it in one hand, breaks it up, just grinds it in one fist.
It's actually hidden
and then
cocaine.
snorts it. Just fucking lines it.
Yeah, Arthur just watches this happen. Then he turns to Kenneth and just says, "So, what do you call yourself?"
Kenneth. Kenneth Damilo.
Kenneth. Don't get many Filipinos called Kenneth.
Hello?
Oh, hello, you're
Hello.
back.
Welcome back.
Hello,
Internet died.
Gordon is
He's
back. Woo!
Internet died. I apologize. What have I missed? Catch me up.
Not much. Joel was...
Professor
Jo-
Hastings, what on
Joel's
earth is an
being an
internet?
asshole.
yeah, Joel's being a
Joel's
racist.
being an asshole to Kenneth.
Joel is just an asshole. Until you prove yourself to him, he
Have I
will be an
arrived yet?
asshole.
Mr. DM.
Pardon?
Have I arrived yet?
You're arriving next.
Oh, awesome.
Then Evelyn last. Because she woke up late due to dog reasons.
I do apologise.
and creepy men. But yeah, so...
Creepy guys.
Does Arthur do anything else, or...?
No, he's just gonna sit there and smoke on his pipe, waiting for his tea.
Yeah, so that comes out eventually. And about like 10 minutes later, there's a Gordon. You arrive at the building. As I say, it's quite a lavish 2-story building. It's not attached. It's what's the word when a building isn't attached to any others?
Detached.
Detached. That's the word. Detached.
Yes.
I thought they had a fancy name, but they don't. But yeah, it's a detached building. Got a fence around it and a stairway up. Gordon?
We've lost the Gordon again. God damn it.
Is he actually gone or is he just not responding?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, yeah, so you've just sort of arrived at the building. The rain's beginning to die down a little bit now. But it's still just sort of like a small drizzle.
I see. I see.
So what does Gordon do?
Well, Gordon will, of course, just knock on the door with a sort of...
Yes. So, again, seeing as before, Duncan opens, he greets you and invites you in, asks you your poison.
My poison?
Yes, what do you drink? Tea, coffee,
I'm
water?
I'm not a drinking man, so... I mean, alcoholic.
No. I was trying to make a joke there. Yeah, do you want like tea, coffee?
Tea.
Tea sounds good. Milk first or second?
First.
Ah, good. And he you walk into Arthur like face pure red, pulling out his gun.
Joel just pulls out his subby.
Kenneth hide under the sofa.
There's something the matter. Did I perhaps ask for my tea the wrong way?
Well,
Are you a British man?
I am in fact. Well, it would be wrong to say that directly, but my parents are British, and as such, I have developed their accents rather than the American one, yes.
So why did you ask for milk first in your tea?
Well, you see, I don't actually have a preference for tea. I don't really care what goes in first. It'll taste like tea in the end.
Arthur just
So what's
takes
your
a...
name then?
I'm gonna complete off Arthur. It's Joel's an ass.
Arthur's just gonna take a bigger puff of his pipe anyway, but hey.
Oh, sorry. The funny thing is, I didn't even mean to interrupt you, but I thought you finished speaking. And then you started speaking again, so I was like, roll with it, I guess. Sorry. Joel. My excuse is Joel's an ass.
Cheeky git.
I'm sorry, guys. Joe's an asshole.
Joel's an ass.
but yeah, so
So what's your name then?
Like gesturing towards Gordon.
Ah, of course. How rude of me. I am Gordon Hastings. I am an English literature professor at the university.
it's called the Miskatonic University.
The Miskatonic University, obvious.
Ah, the well-educated type. And take it you weren't... I guess you weren't...
Within, I forget the word.
Conscripted.
Scripted.
No. They thought my services would be much more useful teaching those who would protect the country.
I guess that's honorable enough.
Indeed. Sir, have you had a drink? Your voice really sounds like you could use one.
He's like, yeah, I've had a few drinks.
He like gestures towards his flask.
No, no, thank you. I'm not the alcoholic sort of drinker. But that wasn't quite what I meant. Anyway, never mind.
Let's just say he does have a cigarette in his mouth.
Yes, it's very obvious that your voice is
Affected by the
You know.
smoke.
derived from your horrible choice of hobby, I suppose.
Yeah. Like, just pays him no mind.
Yeah, so your tea comes out eventually. And finally,
I'd imagine he would drink his tea while sat down, but like he'd have one of those tea plates in one hand and then
Yeah.
resting tea on the other. And as he sits down, he would cross one leg over the other.
could you give a description of Gordon as well?
Oh yes, of course. I'm going to stare at the art that Lydia would, so gratefully created. Hang on,
That
let
was a
me
great
find it. I'm
copy for any-
scrolling. I'm currently scrolling.
It's in the
through
pinned
my mouse.
messages.
Yes.
Lydia is really good at art.
Gordon is
It's
myself,
okay.
obviously. I have sort of shorter length brown hair. I wear a black scarf with gold markings towards the end of it, a brown waistcoat with a white shirt underneath, and the sort of jeans that an everyday man would wear.
Yeah, sort of denim.
Yes.
Probably, probably more just regular trousers, because denim's sort of like what poor people wear.
Ah yes, so not necessarily jeans or denim,
Yeah.
or just regular
Yeah.
pants, as you Americans would say.
But yeah,
That's a description of me.
yes. Probably in the video I'll have like, is it okay if I have like links to Imgur things, Lydia?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sick. And finally, Evelyn, yourself, you arrive at the building.
Mhm.
You haven't actually probably been here before, but it's distinct enough to know it's probably Duncan's.
Well, she'd hurried up to the door and she'd first of all check for a doorbell.
Yeah, there is a doorbell.
Wonderful. She'd sort of brush off her shoulder just to make sure she looks presentable and then press the doorbell.
Yeah, so all of you inside hear the ringing of the doorbell. It's a fairly normal like tone. And Duncan opens. Evelyn. Honestly.
Oh, Duncan, darling, it's been forever.
Yes, it has been. He offers you a hug.
She'd sort of take it and give a polite greeting kiss on the cheek.
He smiles. He pets. What's your dog's name again? I remember the W.
Wesley.
Wesley. I keep thinking Wesley.
Gordon remembers.
Yeah. Yeah. Pets Wesley. He says, "Yeah, Wesley can come on in."
I brought him along.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Yes. Yeah. To get my American voice. There's my coffee. There we go. Yeah, it's fine. Come. Yeah, it's fine.
It's rubbing off on you, Harrison.
Yes, maybe a tad. He does. Yeah, it's fine. Coffee.
No, thank you. I had enough this morning.
Good. Yeah, just take yourself at home in the living room. That's everyone, I think. Yeah, it should be about everyone. I don't expect anyone else to come by. Just make yourself at home.
Wonderful.
I'll make myself a cup, and then I can deliberate over what I'm going to ask you all.
Certainly. And she'd
Also,
sort of...
can I just note that as Gordon walks in, he would have sort of noted that there were several other people here, like, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like, he's not sure why they're here, but then, when he notices Evelyn walking, he's just kind of like, I do believe it's the actress I met the other day. What a small world that you would happen to be invited here as well.
Oh, indeed. Hello again, Professor. It's nice to see you so soon.
Indeed it is. It's nice to see you as well. And I see you've brought your charming, delightful dog, Wesley.
Yeah, I don't leave the house without him.
As no people
And
at
she's
home,
sort of like,
Wesley, Gordon and Evelyn met each other like a couple of days before, had coffee, or whatever it is
Yeah.
they ate. Yeah.
Yeah,
But Evelyn would sort of lean down, gingerly sort of pat Wesley before letting him off the lead, and he'd sort of plod about and then sort of flop onto his side.
Just gives up.
Just in the middle of the floor.
Block.
Borf.
Snarf.
Wesley found over towards him, a sense of familiarity from the belly rubs from before.
Yeah,
She sort
Harrison.
of
Yes.
eye around the room.
I know what you mean by needing a lot of drink to get the voices down, because my voice is, well, my flipping throat's dry as hell.
Do you have
Just
water?
doing
Do you
jaws.
have water near you?
I have 2 cups and they're both empty.
Good. Go get some more water so you can give it the good suck.
Okay, hang on.
I have 2 full bottles, and I'm tempted in like an hour or 2 to make myself another cup of tea. So
We are very British, even though it's set in America. This is America.
this is
I
America.
just sipping up.
Oh, no.
Girls in my area. I got the strap. I have to carry them. Yeah, I'm gonna go into this.
How do you know that entire song?
Oh my god.
Because I
Don't
learned
get
song
copy-
lyrics quite easily after I listened to them for a while.
Amy, please, we're going to get copyright claimed. We can't have that.
Oh gosh, I need to sing it out of tune.
This is America.
Why is goddamn I don't know what voice that is really.
Oh my god.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Never Gonna Hit Those Notes. Never gonna give you, never gonna let you down. Oh god.
But yes. So when Joel gets back, we can continue the latter half.
Yay.
Oh, Joel seems to have come back with the good water.
The life-saving water.
So what I missed then?
There we go. You sound
Yay.
significantly more alive. But yes,
He's good.
so as you as you've all settled yourself down a bit, had a couple of conversations probably.
Kenneth's probably been the silent one this whole time, unless someone asks him questions directly.
Yeah, Duncan walks on in. A cup of Joe, sort of sipping at it. Well, I'm guessing you're wondering why I asked you all to come here. I'm gonna cut to the chase and say, I've got a property up on the east side of town. As note, the east side of town is the least reputable one. It's where most of the, if there is any minor criminal activity, it's happening on the east side. Yeah, I bought it maybe like a couple of years ago. Cheap price, super cheap price. Last owner basically gave it to me for free, so I was thinking, golly, that's gonna strike me a gold mine. But, well, it's got a reputation, a bad reputation. There's a issue with most of the people who buy it are immigrants, mostly immigrants. There's been a French couple, the most recent was an Italian couple, and their children. And, well, it's got a reputation for being haunted. Fake, I know, I don't believe it myself, but all the people who are gonna buy it, who are immigrants, well, he sort of has a little look, no offense, he says to you, Kenneth, but they're normally the superstitious type. And, well, I'm just looking to see if I can get a couple of folks of good repute, and, again, no offense to foreigner, to, basically do some digging into it, get some investigation out, maybe look around it a couple of times, and basically just figure out if there's anything actually wrong with it, and if so, either fix it, or just, or if it's perfectly clean.
Have you not tried alerting the police?
Well,
It could be very obvious. It could be very, almost certainly, just regular criminal activity.
well, it's not, the issue isn't of, criminal activity, it's that, well, I'm gonna cut to the chase and say the last couple, an Italian couple and their kids, the two parents went absolutely batshit. They went,
Probably batshit from the beginning.
nah, they were actually a fairly decent couple, quite good and happy to move in.
So you're saying that there are ghosts?
Well, I'm not saying there's ghosts, I'm saying it just has a reputation. Maybe their superstitious minds just, made things go a bit awry and sent them off the deep end. But they're off up in, the Arkham Sanatorium. I think the wife's a bit better than the, husband. I hear the husband's a bit of a raving madman. I haven't looked at him
Hate those
myself.
type of people.
Well, if this ends up like something out of H.P. Lovecraft's works, It's up to you.
Shush.
Fucking foresight.
I'm a literature professor.
Yeah, so you probably would at least have a subscription maybe to Weird Tales, which is the thing he wrote in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he goes, well, I can't say I've read The Fellow, but I'm not into pulp myself, but yeah, hopefully it should be perfectly fine. But I just need a bunch of people of good repute. I'm willing to pay, as I said, $50 a piece. Maybe $20 if it's $20 extra if this goes on longer than expected. Though it shouldn't take more than 1 or 2 days, at least before the weekend's up. Which I think should be good enough for your to cover any costs.
Of course, I don't have anything else worth doing. My students are turning in their homework.
Well, as much as I'm for this, why would you need an archaeologist?
Well, you're new in town. You have good repute mostly, and I need a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 people always sounds better than 4. I had another person ready to come on up, but I didn't expect him to show. He was a private detective, but he's probably hooked up in other scenarios.
I see.
So where is it we're going then?
Oh, I'll give you the address. He gives you the address for. Let me bring it up now. Yes, it is 20 Shafe Street. Sheafe Street. I'll post it in chat now.
Okay, that saves me having to do it.
Yeah, I'd suggest some of you maybe at least open a Word or Notepad document to put down clues and information you learn.
Will do.
Notepad, don't fail me now.
But yes, he says,
Well,
Alright.
he
didn't
sits
expect to be ghost hunting on my day off.
he sits himself down. He sort of laughs a little bit. But yeah, I'd like it if you did a little bit of digging in the into the actual house itself before you actually went there in the first place, just to clear up its name a little bit, clear up its history. I haven't been able to do a lot, obviously paperwork, and I've got other land. I've got other people renting and the sort, just to sort of deal with lots of paperwork. And my wife's a bit hooked up in her own affairs, and my daughter's being she's being a flapper, so as good as that's going. He sort of looks off a little bit distastefully.
So how is the family then, Duncan?
Well, Mel's doing perfectly good. She's off with some of the ladies' friends for the morning. She's joined a new organization. Call themselves the what do they call it? The Harmonic Order or the Silver Twilight Auxiliary. It's this new organization that came up maybe a couple. At least they poked their head up a couple of months ago. I don't know how long they've been in the area, but yeah, she's doing perfectly good. The daughter, she's doing a little bit less for show, and I mean show. I've seen some of the clothes she's buying. Just I need to get her out of that habit. But anyway, yeah, if you could do this, I'd be 100% happy to pay any expenses you need. I just want to make this a profit because I don't want to set it off because I'd have lost a fair amount with its current reputation.
Understandable.
But yes, if you have any questions, do ask.
I'm sure it won't be anything more than maybe a common criminal, and in that case, I feel like a lot of us are capable of handling it. I'm trained in self-defense, as is, I'm sure, this charming fellow with the cigarettes.
Oh
Damn
yeah,
right I am.
yeah, Jod. Yeah, he's an old war buddy of mine. He's quite reliable if you ignore the voice.
Yeah. To which Gordon will then he'll lean forward, he'll put his teacup and the plate on the table, and then he'll sort of stand up, sort of brush off his trousers and his scarf a little bit, and he'll just sort of be like, "Well, is that all you want from us? Should we get going today?"
If you could start today, maybe come if you come tell me whatever you figure out, maybe in the late evening, let's say about 8 o'clock, good for the rest of you?
Yes, yes, of course.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, good.
How big are
Good.
phones, by the way?
Pardon?
How big are phones?
Phones?
like a mobile.
They don't exist.
Break.
I say,
They don't exist.
yeah, you have line phones,
I thought that would be the bricks.
or a telegram. Those are, yeah, but this, as a note, in this time period, Oxford works in, like, Oxford University only has gas. They have no electricity.
Yeah.
You have,
Then why did the guy try to give me his number beforehand? Honestly.
because you're a high class actress, you probably do have electricity.
No, but a house number. Right.
Yeah, if you want to get a hold of someone, it's by letter or by telegram mostly. If they have a phone, they probably have money.
Me and Duncan just do it through Morse code.
Well, you are war veterans. You do both understand that language, so you literally could.
A question, Duncan.
Yeah.
Did they find? I assume there's already been research into the house. Did they find any sort of herbal substances that
What?
could explain their erratic behavior?
Actually, as I said, they were fairly clean. They had 2 young kids they had to look after, so they were trying their damnedest. I can't fully say where the wife worked, but I believe the husband worked down at the I think it was a labourer down at a construction, down doing construction down on the south side of Arkham. But yeah, they were quite good people. They paid their rent on time. It's just that, I don't know, they just sort of were there there for a couple of months, and then husband went absolutely crazy, started raving and ranting. The wife, just in pure shock, was admitted as well, also quite troubled. I don't know where the kids have gone. I think they were taken up to some cousins, being looked after by cousins down in Boston. But yeah, if for any reason you do want to talk to them, I'd suggest the wife more than the husband. Here, and he brings out a little piece of paper, writes some word, basically writes down on it. It says, "This should be able to get you to them quite quickly. I have a couple of connections up in Arkham Asylum, so you could probably see they probably push you ahead of a couple of people. I assume they're not getting many visitors." But
I see. Well, thank you.
It's no problem. But yes.
Hey.
So what do you do?
Well, I suppose we head out.
Heading
Yeah,
out
why not?
Sooner is better than later.
I
Evelyn,
guess
if we do find anything that might be slightly dangerous, you should make sure to stick close to one of us.
Oh, please, I have Wesley, I'll be fine.
Wesley plods along happily.
I'm sure Wesley.
He is trained as an attack dog.
A very floofy, non-threatening attack dog, but an attack dog nonetheless.
Yep.
As Wesley bounds over towards Evelyn, since Gordon's practically stood right next to her, can he sort of just like lean down and pat Wesley?
Nelson.
Go ahead.
Ah, yes. This fellow, I can imagine him tearing people limb from limb quite.
As you touch him, he sort of like instantly flops onto his back.
Yes. Very.
His tongue like extends onto the floor.
But
My
yes,
god,
as-
this is
as
like my
Gordon-
dog.
As Gordon starts rubbing Wesley's belly, he's just going to sort of continue talking like, "Ah, yes, look at how protective and very ferocious he is. When I scratch his belly, he bares his fangs. Look at how mighty. It's like a lion or a manticore."
but yes,
Alright, enough
Yeah,
of
and
that.
then he's just gonna stand and just like. But yes,
Don't let
stick close
look-
to one of us, Evelyn.
but yeah, so as a basic description on like what happened, so they're called the Macario family. The family went mad. They moved into the house in 1922. In 1921. A year after moving in, the father had a serious accident, and shortly thereafter went violently insane and was committed. Within the last month, the mother also went mad, both babbling of.
What year is it?
The current year is 1923.
Oh, thank you.
Both babbled of a haunting form with burning eyes. They told of inexplicable events in the house. Neither would enter the upstairs bedroom. This is basically what the landlord has told you. And, yeah, he just wants you to put the rumours and his mind at rest, or else try and just figure out what's going on.
Well, Duncan mentioned something about the upstairs bedroom.
Yeah,
That chance something actually in this house, but if there is, it's probably in that bedroom.
Yeah, if any of you want to do any digging, yeah, Gordon, you know, like, maybe, like, the newspaper, like the local newspaper, the Arkham Globe, would probably have something in the morgue, basically, via, like, the clipping files. Or, basically, anyone can figure out, if you want to find out anything, you go to the library and the Hall of Records.
I guess let's go to the library first. Anyone else up for that?
I don't see why not.
I just nod. I don't say anything.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't have anything to research at the library. We don't have any clues yet.
You literally, as a note, you can just look up the address, basically, and you'll probably find references, or you'll find records of it.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's not
Never
that
mind,
hard.
ignore me, I'm scrambling.
Yeah, like because I assume none of you do actual like. There's no reason for anyone IRL to do research into buildings. It's sort of boring, but yeah, there's.
Oh, is this a real place that actually exists?
Oh no, this one isn't, but
I was going to say.
Yeah, but like how you would research buildings, though boring, you can just basically look at the address and look up like relevant books, basically.
Oh, I see. So, how are we heading over there?
Well, the local library is the library in the Miskatonic University. It's basically where all of it's stationed, along with the Hall of Records.
So how far is that away?
That's like a 20-minute walk.
Location?
What's that, sorry?
Do we not know how to just get to the location?
Yeah, you would know. What you have the address of the house, as I said. Yeah, it would take you maybe like it's probably like an hour's walk to get to the house from Duncan's house.
Is there a bus over?
Yeah, there's a bus to a nearby location.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, we can get the bus.
So, who's going where?
I'm going to the house, I suppose.
Okay.
Who's joining me in
Evelyn
that
is
escapade?
too.
I'm gonna
Evelyn,
go to
you're
the
joining me with
library.
the house?
Okay.
I volunteer to go to the library if you don't mind. And I just look at the floor.
Right.
I suppose I'll go to the library as well.
Okay. So
That's
you
fine. Just me and Evelyn going to the main location.
then in that case you
Oh,
two
wonderful.
split up. Evelyn and
Oh.
Gordon. I will
Can
leave
you-
Let's split up, gang.
Can I go up to Gordon and be like, if it's dangerous, take this, and I'm gonna pull out the 45.
Not you.
Just
Ah.
assuming you know how to use it.
I immediately step back. As soon as he takes out a gun, I'm just stepping back like.
Thank you for the offer, but I am not sure how to use this weapon. It would
Suit
be
yourself.
not very useful.
Doesn't like put it like in his back.
If you have a sword, however,
hands.
that I can make do with.
I've got a knife. Does that count?
What model is that?
Not quite, but a knife could work.
All right, he's gonna pull out his like.
His machete.
Can Evelyn take
It's a machete.
I assume you'd have like a little combat knife.
Gordon
It
is
was-
putting his
It's,
hand
it's
up.
like a sizable combat knife because like the combat knives are fucking massive still. This is kind of like one of those. It's like serrated and shit.
Wait, Joel, can Evelyn take the gun? You just like step in front of Gordon and be like, oh, wonderful, this will come in handy. I'll make sure to get it back to you.
You know how to shoot?
I've had my practice. You sort of skip off towards the bus stop with the Wesley.
Fair enough, but I'll want it back later when I get there.
Oh, don't worry about
I
it.
suppose I'll take the knife. I doubt I'll be using it, but it's nice to have a little bit of extra protection.
And then, like,
You got a place of holding it.
and then like, I'm gonna actually pull out.
Pocket. He'll put like his jacket aside. I've got a shirt pocket.
He just removes the clip-on thing which it comes on with and just chucks it to Gordon.
catches it and puts it in his coat pocket in a way that you wouldn't be able to tell he has it, and it doesn't slice his body when he moves.
Yeah, it's not that hard to conceal it. If it were like a gun, yeah, I'd ask you to make a conceal roll, but small, like a combat knife, yeah, it should be fine. Especially
Does that mean Evelyn has to make a conceal roll?
if she's actively trying to hide it, yes. If, like, this is... It would basically be more like a luck roll if the police don't accost you while you're walking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's Evelyn actually wearing? Does she have anywhere to hide that?
Evelyn's got like a
Like, if you have like a,
she's got a clutch.
if you have a, yeah, if you can just put it in the clutch then.
Mhm.
Like the conceal would be more like if you're going into like a place where like you're not allowed weapons. Let me search you. Then you need to make a conceal roll.
Oh, I see. I understand. Worry not. So, I'll take my leave with Evelyn. Good luck to the rest of you fellows.
You too.
Thank you.
Try not to get yourself killed if there is anything.
That's the idea.
So
Good luck, sir.
You're really putting a dampener on this, aren't you, Joel?
Well, of
Well-
course. I'm just trying to think of things, you know.
He's just stating very real possibilities.
So
Thanks, Gordon.
No worries.
You're not bad, Gordon. You're not bad.
You're not half bad.
As Gordon leaves and catches up to Evelyn, can he just sort of like offer her his arm?
She sort of give like a slight roll of her eye and then sort of take it and continue on.
Can you feel the
But yes,
love
so-
tonight?
Tonight.
No, but when he takes out his arm, he's just going to.
I can
it's
imagine
rather.
the massive bulky man just singing.
but yeah,
Joel and Joel's voice. Can you feel the love?
yeah,
I know it's
Gordon.
rather. I know it's rather stereotypical, but I suppose that's the point. You would tend to stick out, and we don't want you to, attract the wrong crowd, do we?
Sorry, what you like? I couldn't hear you over the serenade
Oh, right.
prior.
Yes. When Gordon sticks his arm out towards Evelyn and offers her to take it, he's going to say, I know this is rather stereotypical and cliche, but it'll help you stick out less, you know? You might attract the wrong crowd with your...
Oh, believe me, I can handle the odd crowd. She says as she sort of like tucks the gun into her clutch.
I mean, yes, indeed, but you still don't want to stick out. And then, as you said, she takes his arm and they walk.
Okay, so Arthur's quickly gone off. So I'll just quickly describe the journey to. So first, we're going to follow Joel and Kel going towards the library, as it is the closest location. So the Arkham University, where the Miskatonic University, where the library is, is a massive selection of buildings. The university is. The library being the second largest, sort of it's almost as if the university itself was built around the library, as opposed to the library being built inside the university. And even this, maybe this sort of early in the day, it's still got a lot of attention. A lot of people are still in there. And you sort of go on in, and could anyone who's trying to find why is it playing the
It's fucking rain. It's raining.
It's raining inside the library. Oh no.
I know,
Ah! The sprinklers have turned
The sound
on.
of the rain on the windows.
Wait, wouldn't there not be sprinklers in this
No, I wouldn't.
period?
That requires
Probably not.
electricity.
Yeah. God damn it. If a fire happens, we're screwed.
Well, that's the thing. Joel's gonna walk in with his cigarette still. He gives zero shits.
The librarian does ask. The librarian, he's quite he's fairly old. He's looks maybe to be 60, 70 odd. I would gladly appreciate it if you were to take off the cigarette. It stains the ceiling.
He's like,
Well, fine.
he's gonna take it out. He's gonna just put it out on his leg, and he's gonna just crush it up. Just put his hand in his pocket.
Yeah, librarian doesn't really react. He says, "Thank you very much, good sir. Just happy reading," he says, and leaves you alone. Could anyone who's investigating the library make me a library use roll, please?
Okay.
75%.
That's what. Yeah.
Right, so
Yeah.
give me a summary. I just needed the toilet.
Okay, so you went to the library. Librarian asked Joel to take out a cigarette, and could you all make me a library use roll?
I got a
Cool.
53. So how does this work exactly?
Is it below 75?
It is below 75.
Congratulations, you find information. Could the others others tell me what you get?
So my library use is 60, and I rolled a 30.
Okay.
My library use is 75, and I rolled a 56.
I might need to go get another drink because I've almost ran out.
Okay. Do you want me to just go over information first, and when we move over to the other players, we can.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
First, Joel, as you rolled first, searching through Tome for like old books and a sort, you learn that in 1835, a prosperous merchant built the house, but he immediately fell ill and sells it to a Mr. Walter Corbett, Esquire. Using
Walter
this
what?
Walter, so Walter,
Yep.
Corbett, Corbitt,
Okay.
and he is an Esquire.
Should we all write that down?
If you could, it's good information.
I have written it down.
Then, using that information, Kenneth, you reference back to a book you had read beforehand, where you learned that in 1852, the same Walter Corbett is sued by his neighbours, who petitioned to force him to leave the area in consequence of his serious habits and inauspicious demeanour. For reference, I do have a handout for this, I believe. I don't know if we... Yes, there we go. I'll quickly snipping tool it out. It was from the Boston Herald newspaper in, as I said, 1852. I'll post it in chat now. There you go. Using that information as well, Arthur, you go through some books about local lawsuits, and eventually find that evidently Corbett won the lawsuit, as his obituary in 1866 states that he still lived in the same place. It also states that a second lawsuit was being waged to prevent Corbett from being buried in his basement, as provided by his will. And could you, using that, roll me a no roll, Arthur?
Oh. Oh no.
A no.
Yeah, no.
roll.
It's top right.
KNOW.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
It's
under skills.
yeah, it's under characteristics and roll.
Oh, right.
What's
And
your no?
that's 70.
Yep.
It's 70. I roll a 73.
That's... It's not that hard to figure this out. You know, if you were to probably find out, if to actually look at his will, you'd have to go into the Hall of Records. This is like general information, it's not that hard to figure out. If it was something more obscure, then yeah, that would have been a failure.
Okay.
The Hall of Records is in the library as well. It's in a back room, you might have to ask for access though.
Right.
Could Joel do some research on the actual house itself?
Yes, you could. Could you roll me another library use then, please?
I sure can.
Mm-hmm.
91, I know nothing.
So you spend about half an hour to an hour sort of looking through books about the local area. The most you find is in a couple of accounts by people who lived around the area. It's known as the Corbett House, but that's all you know. That's all you figure out. Nothing else. Anyone else doing anything?
I'm pretty sure with the information that Arthur's just gleaned, he's going to approach the librarian and try and convince them to allow him access to the...
Sure. The librarian is, he's an older fellow, maybe like 70 odd. I'll quickly bring up, I'll send an image of what he looks like now. This is Henry Armitage.
Ah, him.
Yes, he's the librarian. He
I know
looks.
him.
He looks like this. Let me post in chat.
Oh, do you have commissions?
No, he's a popular character in the Lovecraft mythos.
Oh, are they all from this?
Not all of them. This character though is, because he's the librarian of Miskatonic University, and H.P. Lovecraft like librarians.
He looks like a librarian type.
Yeah. So, hello there. What is it you want, good sir?
Yes, I've discovered something that might need my investigation, further investigation, and I would like access to the historical records, if you would be so kind.
Yeah, of course. There's. What's it about, though, if you mind my asking?
This is in regards to the will of one Walter Corbett Esquire.
Can't rightfully say I know the name, but don't see any reason why not to. He sort of shrugs and opens the door without.
I appreciate it.
He lets you in without question. As a note, well, let's see your character just to be sure. Yeah, I'd be glad you've got an average appearance. But yeah, so the Hall of Records is basically a long series of basic filing cabinets.
Is anyone in the group ugly?
No, I don't think so, luckily.
Average or higher.
Yeah,
usually.
average or higher, basically. Could you roll me another library use roll, please?
Sure. That is an 88.
That is an 88. This takes you, you're in there for maybe 2-3 hours, searching through it all. It takes you...
Rolling higher is bad.
Yeah, and
yes,
it takes you a lot longer than you expected to actually find his will, because it's hidden behind a bunch of folders, it's filed wrong, it's a nightmare.
I think Arthur would actually get frustrated because it's not in order.
Yes, but eventually you do find his will, after a lot longer than you expected.
I suppose he breathed a sigh of relief, which is he actually was able to light his pipe inside the building.
As a note, a description of it, show that the executor of Walter Corbett's will was a Reverend Michael Thomas, pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord, the Granter of Secrets.
Should I write this down? I'm pretty sure I might have missed something earlier.
No, I don't think you have. If you want to, I've posted all the necessary links. But yes, as I said, show that the executor of his will was Reverend Michael Thomas, pastor of the Church of Contemplation and Chapel of Church of Our Lord, Grant of Secrets.
Okay.
With this information, which also is a reason why it takes so long, the Register of Churches notes that the closure of the Chapel of Contemplation was in 1912 due to the reason is actually blacked out in marker pen. So, assumedly, could you roll me law?
Law.
Yeah, law, please.
L-A-W. Oh, boy. That is a 0 and a 0.
That's a 100, then you have no idea why it's blacked out. You can't really...
I mean, law was 5 anyway. But...
Yeah. You can't really think of a good reason why they blacked out. But the Chapel of Contemplation was closed in 1912.
You have to be a 0.
And it has... it does not have the location of a Chapel of Contemplation, but it's assumedly in Arkham. Is there anything else you would look for?
What else would I look for?
Well, you've got these. You've got a note of this Chapel of Contemplation. They have their reason for closure has been blacked out. Walter Corbett, clearly part of some sort of. You're not sure if it's a Christian organisation. It doesn't sound like a Christian organisation, most certainly. But you do have the name of the original, one of the main owners of the house.
Okay. So, assuming that Joel and Kenneth haven't fallen asleep, I'm going to go and relay this information to them.
Okay.
Did you find anything, Arthur?
I found something. I found this the last will and testament of this Walter Corbett Esquire person.
I saw him in a few books.
Yeah, on his will, there's a bit of it that's actually been marked out with black marker, and I have absolutely no idea what it could entail.
Could I look at it?
Yes, so now that you two have seen this, could you both roll me a law roll?
Okay.
No, don't roll 100s.
I got a 3.
You got a 3. Criminal activity, quite clearly. Criminal activity is why it was closed.
Oh, okay.
I got a 29.
They did criminal activity. If you were to learn about criminal activity, it's not going to be found in the Hall of Records, it's going to be found in the police.
Right.
Okay.
You just look. Also, at that thing, we get to check now. You see this little box next to law?
Yeah.
Could you click that, please?
I have clicked it.
So at the end of the session, your law skill will go up.
Oh, hell yeah.
All three of us.
No, just him.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's the one who rolled super low.
Oh,
What if you roll like a 1 then?
1, your skill immediately goes up.
Jesus.
Aw.
So if you get like 1 or like below 10 or something,
Yeah, basically, you can improve that skill because you've learnt something, basically.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. Okay.
But yes, so what would your next plan of action be before I move on over to Evelyn and Gordon?
I think it might be an idea to look into the names which Duncan gave us. What were they again?
They were the people who...
Macario.
Yeah, the Macarios. They were called Gabriella and Vittorio.
Gabriello, and what was the dude's name?
Vittorio. V-I... let me pick
T
T...
O R.
Yeah, Vitttorio. Yes, correct.
Close enough.
They're in the Arkham Sanatorium. It will take you maybe half an hour to an hour to get there.
Should we start heading over there? Get a bit of, see if we can get anything out of them. Anyone?
Sorry, what?
Joel has offered to go to the sanatorium to see the previous owners of the house, to see if you can get any information out of them.
Haven't they gone slightly,
They have gone slightly crazy, but you know the wife is more talkative than the husband. The husband not being talkative because he's a raving loony.
Okay.
Probably best we don't talk to the dude.
I suppose that would be a good plan. It's kind of shaking a little, like this is weirding him out a
Calm
little.
down, Kenneth.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
It's like, so then Joel's just like, grow a spine.
Pansy!
Fucking wuss!
Arthur,
Okay.
you joining?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Alright then. It's gonna take us about half an hour.
Okay.
I think you're gonna
Get
go
going then.
to.
Yes, I am. Just give me a brief moment.
I'm gonna get another drink because I've already ran out.
Cool.
Fucking
It's just
Joel's
like pizza
voice
all over again.
so much.
How are you guys enjoying this as well?
Oh yeah.
Good.
This is so I love it. I'm so invested. It's getting really creepy and I love it.
Okay, so at that point, we can go over to the house. So
Oh, great.
the rain has gotten significant, probably a bit worse for you, as you've caught the bus, and as you left it, sort of a couple of blocks away from the actual house, you walk on up. You're walking up, probably again having to. Gordon, you might have had to put up an umbrella for how bad the rain has begun getting. And the yeah, so I continue.
Oh no, continue. No, she's just gonna take out an umbrella. She had one in the
Yes.
clutch already.
So this as you approach the neighborhood, you can sort of tell in this area. Most people who lived here probably before World War One, the Great War, have either moved away or died. Some offices and businesses have probably replaced the 19th century homes. And from what you can tell, in fact, besides a couple of a few buildings opposite, but like apartments and houses that are probably being rented, the Corbett, even though you don't know it's the Corbett house, but I'm going to call it the Corbett house for quite easy. You see there's a cigar vendor sort of on the opposite side. Rather droll looking.
Neighborhood.
He's sort of flicking through a newspaper. As he's sort of opposite the Corbett estate.
Oh yes, of course, my mic was muted. I apologize.
Ah, okay.
Myself off of the...
So yeah, but yeah, so you arrive on the street.
Well, isn't this neighborhood just lovely?
About as lovely as the current weather, wouldn't you say?
Indeed.
It's a good thing that you brought that umbrella. And that it's big enough to cover not only me and yourself, but Wesley as well.
Wesley's probably getting a little bit wet at least.
Oh, he doesn't mind. He's a water baby at heart.
Yes, of course. So, another thing, what we supposed to be doing precisely, entering the building?
Yeah, I suppose so. And she'd sort of leaning. She'd sort of lean in a bit towards Gordon, and she'd sort of hush in his ear. Hope you're not scared of ghosts, Mr. Hastings.
I'm a literature professor. I've read much about ghosts. All of that sort of thing. It wouldn't unnerve me.
Bitch, I've read The Haunted House.
Did you know my favorite movie is Monster House? I bet you did.
Not quite. Never performed in that one.
It's got terrible CGI.
What's CGI?
Pardon? Oh yeah, what's CGI?
Yeah, no, I don't say that obviously. Yeah, I believe we enter the room.
Okay, so approaching the house, this brick two-story building is overshadowed by taller, newer office buildings on either side. It fronts the street, and you can sort of see its rear is overgrown with plant life. The rain has made the gravel pathway up to the door like a very deep grey, and the plants are sort of flattened down by all the pouring rain. You can almost... could you guys roll me a sanity roll, please? Both of you.
Oh, excellent. A sanity roll.
Oh, great.
Just tell me what you get.
Will do.
You, if you're trying to roll / roll, remember you can't do that, because tappies...
38.
Is that a success?
I rolled a 34.
So you get an odd feeling as you approach this house, like as if something's like looking at you, but you quickly brush it off as just the stories you heard before sort of getting to you a little bit.
Yeah, she's slightly more unnerved than Gordon. Only very slightly.
But yes, the house itself seems to almost withdraw into the shadows cast by the flanking buildings. And you almost sense something ominous within, but again, you sort of shrug that off. You do have a key to it. Duncan did give you one.
Ah, excellent. I'll open the door then.
Yes, so
While Gordon's opening the door, can she sort of look through the windows to see if she spots anything?
yes, so there's like a single window to the left, and looking in, you sort of see a storage room with boxes and like rusted water tanks and old bicycles. As you open the door, you see the front door is secured with a single lock, which you unlock. 4 additional bolts are locked are in the inside. They have been, you can sort of gather, they've been added at least in the last 2 years, maybe at most the last year. So at most the last 2 years, at least the last year.
So when I try to open it, does it open or?
Yeah, it opens perfectly fine.
see.
And you notice, Evelyn, as you sort of press your hand at the window, while looking through, the windows have been nailed shut.
Oh, well.
Not by board, not all by boards, but like the actual, like they've been, like the wooden shutters have been nailed together.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
So I'm going to send a map of the area just for reference, to make life a little bit easier.
Excellent. I can't wait to die.
Oh dear. The hands
I
of
can't
creepy
wait
dudes.
to die in this place.
Why have you become Dracula?
I don't know.
So, yes.
No, you don't understand. Dracula sound like this.
Wait. In the background, you just hear.
Shush. Stop it.
That's terrifying.
So yes, so you enter into this long hallway. There's like shelves that have been shelves that have been knocked over. There's like glass shattered across the floorboards. Dust is quite
No
dusty
wonder
and musty.
People don't want to live here. Rather run down. I suppose our first job should be to check the floors and make sure no one else is in here. Seeing there's all these mentions of criminal activity.
Yes, I do believe the best idea would be to stay close as we inspect each room.
Evelyn would sort of follow Gordon's lead, but keep an eye on Wesley, who was sort of... I imagine he's sort of scanning around, taking in the smell.
Yeah, so as you so you sort of walk in. Wesley seems very on edge. He's he's quite skittish as you come on in. Is there any room you go to first?
I suppose we would go whichever room is closest to the entrance.
I guess that'd be the living room, which is room 4.
Yes. This
So-
music is very unnerving.
It is.
So, room 4. So it's a living room. It contains basically conventional furnishings. There's like a radio, a couch, stuffed chairs, shelves laden with like old knickknacks. Could you roll me an idea, Gordon?
Will do. Yeah, so keep going to do it. It's happy, but that doesn't exist. That's a D100, isn't it?
Yes, against your idea.
Okay, I rolled a 37.
That's a success. Or like
And my idea stat is 90.
Yes, that's a success. You notice the unusual quantities of crosses, images of the Virgins, and other religious artifacts.
Trosses?
Yeah, crosses, images of the...
What is a tross?
A cross. C-R-O-S-S.
I thought you said a tross.
Not a tross. A cross. Images of the Virgin Mary and other Catholic religious artifacts.
I see. Obviously, this is very religious home.
Remarkably religious, you can
Yes,
sort of assume.
Very, very Christian. I wonder how many children will be here. I don't say that.
But yes.
Quite odd that a household like this would aspire.
What's with the tapping?
Nothing.
Oh. Are you tapping for your brain damaged cat?
No, that's... You see, like, it's just ambient. You do sort of hear upstairs, like, little creaks and moans, as if, but you can assume it's just sort of the house settling.
I see. So, as we search the first room, do we find anything other than it being religious?
Nothing else, really. The radio is busted and a bit broken, as if somebody sort of hit it with a hammer.
Then I suppose the next best thing to do would be to head towards the dining room, isn't it? Since
Yeah.
that is the connected room.
Yeah, it's connected. As you start walking through, you almost immediately get a horrible smell, a grim smell of rot. Yeah, the dining room is complete with a long mahogany table, a built-in sideboard, and 7 chairs. 3 places are set, and an unused rice soup rots in a churn in the middle of the table. It gives a foul, like, chest-heaving scent.
Yes, this is quite repulsive.
Did they not get anyone to come in and clean this place after they got kicked out? Honestly, it's no wonder he doesn't get any tenants.
Indeed, I wouldn't want to live here. And then he'd sort of look towards Wesley and be like, Wesley, that food is no good for you, I'm afraid.
Wesley doesn't seem like he wants to eat the food at all. It doesn't. Don't worry.
Does Wesley seem interested in anything?
He seems very. As you've been going through the house, he does seem very much more skittish. He seems to be padding like a little bit further behind you, and sort of stopping and looking up and looking around.
Let's see. Well, she'd sort of take note, but try and hurry on.
Let's not stick around here too much. Did we find anything in the dining room?
Again, except the rot and like the dust, nothing else.
Then towards the kitchen, I suppose.
Yeah, so this is a conventional kitchen with an icebox, a wood-fed stove, an oven. There's a meager larder, and some of the foodstuffs are edible. Yeah, there is a canned soup, there's canned soup, meat, rice, several pastas, and a few bottles of homemade wine around. The produce that has not spoiled has been eaten by rats, judging by the spore that has been left behind and the droppings and all the sorts.
Yeah.
It seems each room is just as ghastly as the last.
Yeah, almost like a horror house. I'm not surprised people think it's haunted.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was in this case. So, from looking at the map, are there stairs in the kitchen?
Not in the kitchen, though. So you'd go out and there's like a door at the end of the hall down to a basement.
Oh, I see. So, could we check room at number 1?
Yeah.
I think room 1, 2, 3, and then
Upstairs.
going
So
through one of the doors or one of the stairs would be excellent.
okay, so number 1 is as it is a storage room. It's filled with like boxes and junk, rusted water tanks, old bicycles. At the right end of the room is a cupboard that has been boarded shut.
In the kitchen, or number 1?
In room 1.
So there's what's that's boarded
There's
shut?
a cupboard that's been boarded shut.
I don't suppose it'd be disrespectful to look and see.
Are you saying that you want to open the boards on that, Evelyn?
They're quite.
I mean,
They're sort of old. They seem to have not been. They seem to have been there for literal, like probably like half a decade at least, with how they're sort of broken and splintered.
we were told to investigate.
It sort of turns to Evelyn and be like, so you want to open that, yes?
Well, I suppose so. We were told to investigate, and this seems like something we should be investigating.
Indeed. If you allow me. And then he'd sort of take his arm out from under hers and open it.
Yeah. So the boards aren't very hard to wrench open, and as you sort of open it, the smell of like musted air sort of shoots at you, and dust sprays a little bit.
To which he'd probably be like,
Yeah, and as you sort of look in, you see 3 leather-bound journals stacked on top of each other.
leather-bound journals. I'm going to, well, I was going to say I'll take them, but I don't actually believe I have anywhere to store them.
Well, you have like pocket. They're not big. They're like small diaries.
Oh, I see. Yes, I'll have these all in my pockets then.
Yeah. Would you flick them open at all, or would you just have pocketed them?
I imagine I would take the one that's on the top of the stack and flick through that. Do I find
Yeah.
anything?
So this is the diary of a certain W. Corbett, assumedly a former inhabitant of the house, as the address on the flyleaf of of Volume 1 testifies. They're in plain English, but as you flick through, it's the words are sort of strangely put, and some of the
Almost like it wasn't a native speaker.
pardon.
Almost like it wasn't a native thing.
A native speaker, but he's sort of referencing things that sound not real.
How so?
Like you see a couple of things like that he words things oddly, and he brings mention to something he calls he brings forth the invisible one. Is something you read a lot. You notice a phrase is repeated a lot. Bring forth the invisible one.
Can Evelyn be sort of reading over his shoulder?
Yes, you gather about the same, not as much as Gordon, because Gordon knows shit tons of English.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think, is there a chance that maybe he was a writer?
he's just going to casually talk. He's going to be like, yes, Evelyn, it seems that this man, his name is Walter Corbett, and he words things rather oddly in his diary. He's mentioned on various pages, bringing forth the invisible one.
Well, if that isn't a ghost, what is? She'd sort of say in a semi-playful manner.
That does in fact sound like a ghost, or something not of this world. I'm really starting to hope that I wasn't correct in my prediction of H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh please, Professor Hastings, ghosts aren't real. You have
Evelyn.
nothing to fear.
As
Yep.
you sort of say that and you start walking through, you sort of hear a small little thumping coming from upstairs. You think nothing too loud. It could just be like rats going about, but
Do I know it's that too?
you do not.
Oh,
But it might unnerve you a little bit hearing this all of a sudden. But you almost seem to think it might have happened right after you picked up the journals.
ah. Evelyn would sort of look at the roof, narrow her eyes a bit, and sort of dismiss it.
So room 2 next.
As rats.
Yes, room 2 next.
So room. Sorry, continue.
Sorry, I'm sort of pulling you all around the place, Evelyn. If you want to go somewhere else, then just say.
Well, I mean, she'd sort of like look around semi-nervously for an excuse and go, I wouldn't want the ghost to get me right.
Yes, of course.
So next is so it's second storage room. This one is mostly devoted to like broken furniture, other items that could be burnt and burn, basically. There's nothing really else here.
I see. A rather barren room. So we don't find anything of interest, like the journals?
No, there's no journals. It's just broken up, burnt out. From what you can tell, you could, if you want to investigate it, like actually search for things, just tell me to roll a spot hidden.
Yeah. I'll roll a D100 for that round.
Yeah, and spot hidden.
Oh, I rolled a 97.
Yeah, so searching through it, like you move a couple of the broken chairs and all that.
Skills. How does using skills come into effect? Because I rolled a 97 on my skill.
If it's fifth, so you have to roll below it to achieve some sort of success, unless it's a particularly hard roll.
Oh, right. So the higher my number, the less.
More, yeah, basically.
Yes, I understand. now.
So yeah, so a 97. You search for a bit. You probably get like a couple of splinters, unfortunately.
No.
To which I just pull them out and.
Yeah. But you don't see anything of proper note.
Yes, this room is rather empty. The only thing I gained was some splinters.
But yes, so nothing else. Any other rooms you'd go to? Or just last one, room 3.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So as you walk into room 3, it's a mud room where hung are overcoats like galoshes, hats, umbrellas. Several bags of coal for the living room. A freestanding stove is here. And Evelyn, you notice that the side door has been secured with 3 bolts and 2 locks.
Oh. Well, someone clearly didn't want anyone getting out here.
What
Or getting in.
What room exactly is? What kind of room is?
It's like a it's basically like a walk-in wardrobe, basically.
Oh, I see.
That's what it's called, a mud room.
Question, can Evelyn look through the coats to see if there's...
Oh.
Like, in the pockets?
Could you repeat that again? My Discord went a bit silly.
Can Evelyn search through the coat pockets to see if she finds anything?
Yes, you can. Could you roll me a spot hidden, please?
Yeppo. That's a 45, which is a success.
That's a success. So you find, searching through, there's someone arguing on someone's side.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, you search through the coat pockets, and you find a lot, mostly in like the female coat, like the woman's coats, and a lot of the children's clothing are crosses and all the sorts, like hidden in the pockets. That's all you can really discern from looking through it.
To which
Okay.
be like, That seems rather ordinary for this kind of house. We've already seen many corpses already.
The thumping seems to get a little bit louder. Not too much, Evelyn, but you think the rats might be scurrying right above you.
That's curious. Can she glance over at Wesley to see if he's...
He is freaked, is the best way to describe it. He's sitting there. He's darting left and right, like looking. He keeps padding about. His fur's a bit on end.
Yeah.
Can
Hold on one sec.
sort of crouch down and pat him reassuringly, like, Wesley, nothing will happen in this house. It'll be okay.
You don't know if it helps or not, fully, but he's still... You think he might have stopped darting as much?
I feel like Evelyn will go, it might be an idea to take him outside before we go any further.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem to like this place.
As a note, there's like a... I don't know what's called. What's the, sort of... It hangs over the, front of the house. Like a, as a sort of protector from the rain. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, just an overhang.
Overhang, thank you. Yeah.
Are you sure he would be more comfortable there without you? Not more comfortable here with us?
Well...
It's not exactly pleasant outside either, especially with the rain, even
It
if there is
isn't.
an overhang.
Alright, but if he starts getting too panicked, I will have to take him out.
Understandable.
So, where are you going to go next?
So, right, there's that door in number 3 that leads to outside, right?
Yeah, at least straight outside. It's locked with 2 locks. In fact, Evelyn, you would have found like the keys for them in the pockets for the 2 locks, and there's a couple of bolts.
Is there anything, is that area of outside,
It's just a garden. It's just garden.
can you literally get there from the front by walking around?
Yeah, you can just get in the front by walking around.
Okay, so it's not special. Okay, so, the stairs near room 3, do those go up or down?
Near room 3, yeah, those go up.
And what about the other stairs?
As you go to the stairs, like to the basement, the door's actually locked.
So the stairs for number 6 are locked?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. So
Well, I suppose that decides where we're going next.
I suppose that leaves with going up, doesn't it, Evelyn?
Okay, so I'll post as you creak up the floorboards. Here is an image of the upper story. So
I
you
see.
walk up and...
Are those doors right on, like, the top? Are those doors?
Pardon? Oh, and the
see-
right, those are windows. As with the ones downstairs, they've been nailed closed. Leaving sort of a musty smell and feeling in the upstairs.
Yes. So as we go upstairs, I assume we would check room number 4 first?
Yes, so room 4, it's just a bathroom. There's a sink, bathtub, and a water closet with an overhead tank. Towels and other possessions are still here. Typical to a family of 4.
Gordon would curiously check to see if the water is still running.
And as you approach the water, like it's this blackish pool of water has collected in the bathtub, fed by a dripping faucet, which cannot really quite be closed.
Oh. That's going to flood eventually.
Yeah.
Yes, mostly.
Can Evelyn listen to see if she can hear the scraping, pattering noise?
Could you roll me a listen?
Sure thing. That's a 30 and my listen
Because I assume
is
he'd be like, shh,
25.
can I do the same?
So I got to say, it's Evelyn. Could you tick your listen skill, as over the rain, you hear scurrying and scraping in the room behind you, and a low dripping sound, like a very prominent dripping sound.
So not the one from the bath.
Not the one from the bath. It sounds louder, a little bit bigger.
She'd sort of shoot Gordon a questioning. Can you hear that? And sort of quiet her voice.
Can I try and hear that, DM?
Now that it's been noticed out to you, could you roll me listen with advantage? So essentially, roll 2d100s basically.
Alright, so 2d100s roll. I got 120 confirmed. first one was a 17, the latter was 50.
Are any of them successes?
And it's listen.
Listen.
Well, considering one of them is 50, my listen is 50. So
Oh, okay, that's a success.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, if you hit it or go below, that's a success.
Cool.
So yes, you have to strain your hearing a little bit, but you do hear it.
You've got quite the sharp ear. I had to try very hard to hear that. But yes, I do hear the louder dripping, more prominent than in this room, and what appears to be scurrying. You hear that also?
I'm curious, but I'd say I'm reluctant to check it out. She'd sort of give a semi-nervous chuckle.
After all, what's the worst that can happen, right?
Water ghosts.
Oh.
Yes, so...
Murder!
We would check room 3 next.
Okay, so approaching room 3, it contains a bed frame, bare bed springs, and an empty dresser. This room looks like the... so it's clearly a bedroom. You hear like a loud sort of thumping noise, sort of in the centre of the room. And also in the centre, you see dripping down from the ceiling is red liquid. Looks like blood.
Oh.
It's not pooling on the floor.
It's not?
It's not. It hits the floor and just sort of goes through.
So it like goes through the floor?
Yes, essentially. It sort of splashes. It sort of hits the floor and splashes, but the splashes sort of dissipate.
That's not normal.
That's very unnerving.
And
she'd sort of glance over at Wesley, who's most likely...
Wesley is sort of pulling at you a little bit. And you hear a little rattling. Something of a window frame is rattling.
We
like a
might
sort
want to go and find the others.
Scratching sound, as if like maybe some rats are sort of scratching it from inside the walls.
Would it be likely that this is a poor, unfortunate fellow who may have died in some cellar of some kind, and the rats are consuming him?
How would he have died in the cellar?
I'm not sure. It's very unnerving.
I mean, if we're looking at this logically, it might not even be human blood.
A question: where are you guys standing?
Sort of just
imagine,
in front of the doorway.
Yeah, like sort of in the doorway, not fully into the room, but like enough to see everything in the room.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the window frame still rattles a little bit.
And Evelyn's paying sort of attention to the tugging.
So, I suppose what is left is to check room 2, is it not? And then another room. So, we'll head to room 2 next.
So,
Evelyn would sort of...
I'm gonna note this down though. Room 3. Blood dripping from ceiling, tapping on window, and what was the other thing?
There was a scratching at the side of the window, as if there might have been rats clawing at it from the inside.
Evelyn would sort of tug at Gordon's sleeve and just go, I don't think we should carry on. If there's blood and we suspect someone's dead, shouldn't we call the police?
You're right, but
it's not really our place.
What I was thinking is we make an extremely brisk check of the other 2 rooms, just to note if there's anything similar, and we leave immediately.
She'd sort of like look between Wesley, who I assume is still tugging, and sort of go.
If you really want to leave right now, you may either wait outside for me, and I shall join you, or we can truly leave now if you wish.
I think that might be a better decision. We can always come back with the others, or after.
Indeed. It would feel much more safe with the rest, so we'll leave. Gordon would look down the corridor. We'll leave those last 2 rooms, and we'll report our findings after. If there is something, we don't want to find out what.
Yeah. It's not every day you see blood dripping from the ceiling and then disappearing.
As you walk down the corridor, you notice a very loud sound of rattling of the window from the inside. You don't know if it's wind from the rain, or wind from the storm outside, or something else.
I'm not gonna lie.
There's this rattling, and as you walk past the door, who would be sort of in front?
Gordon, obvious.
Could you make me roll me dexterity?
Is this?
That's dexterity times by 3. In fact, no. Could you roll me a dodge roll, which is your dexterity times by 2?
Oh, excellent.
At disadvantage. It's on the left. It's down underneath disguise.
No, I mean on the map. Where are we?
Oh, well, on the map, you're just walking past room 3.
Oh, we were at the door of room 3.
Oh, yeah. So you're walking.
Yeah.
So you'd probably be down by the window.
I see. Okay, so you want me to do what?
Could you roll me a dodge?
Is that a D100?
That's a D100 against your dodge skill, which is dexterity times by 2.
I rolled a 90 for the first one, and you said disadvantage.
Yes.
Right?
I don't need to do that. So what happens
So my dexterity is 22.
is as you sort of start walking forward, and Wesley pulls at you at the lead, Evelyn, and pushes you just in front of Gordon, and at that, you barely notice, as you both look at, you hear a sudden scraping sound, and behind you, the bed that was in the third in room 3, suddenly swings and crashes into your side, Gordon.
Goodness.
Right as you hit the window, and you smash straight through it.
Wait,
I
does
fall through the window.
Do I
You
as
fall
well?
through the window as this bed sort of twists oddly in the corridor and just whacks into you.
Wait, does Evelyn as well?
You see this?
Oh god.
Holy shit!
You fall
I just
two.
got fucked by
You
ghosts.
fall 2 stories to the floor.
Am I dead already?
Could you please
Oh, boy.
roll me 2 6-sided dice?
Okay, 2d6. That's a 9.
That's a 9. Could you take 9 hit points of damage?
Where's
As-
my health?
It's under hit points. It should be.
Oh, so 14 minus 9 is. I'm being bad at math. That's 5.
Yes. So you suddenly crash down, and you don't even really see what happened, as you crash down into the floor. And this bed, you see, it's sort of the metal of it is twisted and moved in odd angles to sort of accommodate the small size of this.
Is that what Evelyn sees?
Yeah,
Because
Evelyn. Yeah, you're down at the floor.
I'm pouring rain.
You see this. Wesley is pulling at you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she'd sort of like not really know what to think for a moment, and then everything would sort of kick in, and she'd grab Wesley, and they just run.
So you sprint down. This rattling noise from upstairs gets suddenly violent. You hear the scraping from upstairs as you run forward and you pull open the door. You don't even pull backwards, and it slams behind you.
Oh god.
Where did you escape through, the main door or the side door? The side door is where Gordon is.
I mean, the side door was locked, wasn't it?
Did you unlock it?
You have the keys.
No, in fact, no, you didn't have the keys, so you would have had to go through the main door.
So I
Sorry,
went to the main
that's-
one
The
then.
coat, remember?
Oh yeah, you did find the keys, didn't you? So yeah, you have the keys for it. Would you have unlocked it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so having unlocked it and running through, you see Gordon lying there. You're probably in pain, Gordon. Lots of pain. There was glass embedded into you.
Oh dear. Well,
Escape.
You're not dying, but you're just in pain.
that what? Okay, ghost.
What actually happened?
You were attacked by a bed.
Did the bed come through the wall, DM, or did it come through the door?
You can assume through the door, but you didn't hear it. Give me a sec, I'm choking to death.
Are you okay?
I ate a particularly...
No!
I ate a particularly flaky croissant.
No, we don't want to use a DM
I
too.
was also gonna note this in my notes. Gordon launched out
Attacked
of
by
window.
bed.
By bed.
Gordon got owned by a bed.
Well, seeing as we're outside the building, are we still being pursued by the demon bed?
No, it sort of stopped at Gordon and scraped on the outside intimidantly. It's your strength plus your size, sorry, your constitution plus your size divided by 2, you round up. Joel. So, your hit points, Joel, I'll quickly calculate this now.
Gordon will bring himself to his feet.
Can Evelyn roll a first aid to try and get the glass, like any very prominent shards of glass out?
Yes, please roll me first aid.
Okay.
I assume she's put Wesley down.
You have 15 hit points, Joel.
3.
Yeah, you have 15, Joel. You clearly he's very clearly very skittish, but what do you get for your thing? Evelyn? Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
What did you get for your first aid?
3.
3?
Oh, that's extremely
Yeah.
good.
Tick your first aid skill,
Okay.
and because it's so low a roll, you gain 4 hit points back.
I have 9 health now. Yeah, after, I assume she got all of the glass out of him.
You got all the prominent bits, there's a couple of shards here and there, but nothing that would cause extreme bleeding.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for your aid, Evelyn. But really, after that, we must leave.
Yeah.
And then, I assume they just leave.
I assume, yeah, you flee.
They are out of that neighborhood so fucking fast.
GTFO!
On the way out.
The others were at the
He's
library, right?
On the way out, he's just gonna sort of, once they're away from that house, he's just gonna be like, Evelyn, would you believe me if I said I never want to return to that building again?
Nope, I completely agree.
Did you manage to actually get a proper visage on what happened? I just remember falling out of the window. I'm still in a bad
He's sort of like staring at the ground in this semi-shock, confusion, processing sort of expression. Just go, the bed just kind of, it was twisting and then it hit
Also,
you out the window.
What happened to Gordon's glasses?
As you feel, they sort of clattered onto the floor. They're sort of a little bit bent, they're not broken though.
So I sort of try and bend them back.
Yeah.
So I'm very much, I would say now, I believe, fiction may in fact have a basis in reality.
You don't say.
Yes. And then we go back to that one guy's house.
Duncan.
Yeah.
So,
I assume that's where we're going, Evelyn, unless you want to go to the library.
Well, I was gonna say we should go and find the guys and make sure they don't go there, just in case.
Oh, to make sure
I'd
they
hate
don't
for
go in
them.
the house. Yes, excellent.
Yes, in case
No one should
they
go back
visit
there.
them
No one.
looking for us.
Yeah, we'll go to the library then.
okay, so I'd say you get there just about as the rest are leaving.
Okay, so we catch them.
Yeah, you catch them just as they're about to leave, quite luckily.
Who do I see?
I assume whoever's leading, yeah, you rolled low enough on luck. Leaving would be probably Joel at the head, I assume. Joel, you see Evelyn
Gordon.
and
Clothes are dirtied.
yeah, he's dirtied. He's bleeding. He's got probably got some sort of rudimentary bandages around his back, I assume.
And glass in his arm.
Yeah.
I take it you've been to the house.
You have.
You're a much brighter
No
fella than
idea.
you look.
A quick
Yes,
question: as you
we
two
went to the
are,
house.
as you two are running and trying to get back, could you both roll me sanity, please?
Yes.
Oh no.
That's a D100.
Yes.
I rolled a 70.
Okay, is that above or below?
Above.
Okay, above your sanity.
Where is that?
It's the big thing that says San. In characteristics and roll.
My sign is 45.
45. You take, let's roll now. 3 points of sanity damage
Oh my
from
god.
your. So Yeah, you see sanity points in the box on the left. Basically,
So, I'm less sane than I was before.
yes. What did you get, Evelyn?
27.
That's below.
Yeah.
You don't take any sanity damage from this. You're shaken, but you don't actively lose anything.
I'm an actress. We live in fantasy.
But yes, so
Sweet fuck.
What the hell happened? Ben, you've got some bandages on you, and it looks like you've been.
I'm in
He
a
was
great
attacked by a
deal of
demon
pain.
bed.
A
Evelyn.
what?
A demon bed.
Evelyn, please, that makes it sound much less serious than it is.
Well, you were! It launched itself at you and contorted itself in demonic ways.
Do you need me to take a look at those wounds?
No thank you, she's already bandaged me up. I believe I'll be good to go. But,
Alright.
I will explain what happened. Not right now. It's pouring in the rain. We'd best all get back to... What was his name again, Ian?
Duncan Smith.
Duncan. Yes, of course. We'd better all get back to our friend Duncan and tell him what happened. None of you go to that house. Under any circumstances.
So is that bad?
It's that bad.
Oh my gosh.
I did bring one thing from it. And so which he would reach into his pockets and bring out 3 journals.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we have them.
And then he'd put them back and he'd say, I'll tell you the contents of the first journal and I shall read the rest in the presence of Duncan. But for now, we really must get back.
Alright. Well, looks like that journey to the asylum's gonna have to wait.
Okay.
I feel like what you want to do is you want to give him a soldier voice. Soldier 76, you know, like, we're all soldiers.
I need healing.
This is not
I need to be-
Overwatch.
Oh my goodness.
I need
Stabilize.
But yes.
Someone had to do it.
Someone had to do it.
But yes. So you make your way back to Duncan Smith's house. So
Yeah.
getting there, he opening the door. He's very shocked and a bit. What is it? Yeah, see Gordon. He's like, Jesus Christ, what happened? Here, come in. Take your coats off on the hanger. Just what happened? He says, sort of a bit confused. He leads you in.
Now that I imagine we're all sat in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Similar arrangement, but much more focused on Gordon. Gordon is going to sit, not with his back against the couch. He's still in pain, but he's going to sit upright and he's going to say, simply, I do believe there is a basis in the occult in that house. I will explain everything that happened.
The occult? You meaning there's actually a haunting? He says a bit. You look like you've taken a fall. Did
Believe me, allow me to explain.
You're not sure
Allow me to
anyone just
explain.
pushed you out of the window? I'm guessing.
They most certainly did not.
I will explain.
Mm-hmm.
So, first off, we entered the room.
Mm-hmm.
We entered the building. Not much actually seemed to happen. The living room was barren, but there were many items of religious memorabilia, Christianity specifically. The kitchen was and the dining rooms were quite grotesque. They smelled from simply leftover food. Nothing suspicious on the bottom floor at all. We reached the top floor and we looked into one of the rooms, and there was not much happening. We looked into a second room on the top floor. That is where things got disturbing. Blood leaked from the ceiling. A red liquid that could not be anything but blood. At first we thought it may be a person, or possibly a creature that got into the attic and died. That's still possible, but what happened next makes me think it is something much darker. Once the blood splatters against the floor, you'd expect it to pull up, or depending on the floorboards, drip through the cracks and seep below.
Well,
That
yeah.
simply did not happen. The blood, upon touching the ground, would splatter and disperse as if it did not exist, with a constant dripping. There was a scratching at the window that was akin to rats scratching at something as if trying to get in. And then that's when it happened. we were deciding to leave to report this, I did not notice in time. The bed from the room must have flung itself out of the room, past Evelyn, and slammed into my side. It shoved me out of the window and I fell 2 stories. It's a miracle I survived.
So wait, hang on a second. Was it the bed flung itself at you?
Yes, there was nothing in that room, and the bed itself would have had a hard time getting out of the door. The metal on the bed, from what I could tell, in my brief sighting of being hit, the metal was bended as if an unnatural force had made it possible for it to leave the room. You know,
Everyone sort of nodded
we all know how
agreement.
difficult moving furniture is.
I'm not sure if you're high, insane, or telling the truth.
Oh,
Kenneth
believe
is
He's
just.
telling the
Ken-
truth. Believe
Believe
me,
me,
he's telling the truth.
would I be lying when I took a 2-story fall? Would I take
Kenneth is just pale in the face. Just-
And that brings me to the most important finding that I discovered. And then he brings out these 3 journals and he places them on the table in front of them that I assume he has.
Yes.
I have looked into this one, he would say, tapping it with his hand. From a quick skim through, the man, the first one at least, is a diary of a man called Walter Corbett. He speaks rather oddly in his diary. Various mentions of he would say, this is a direct quote, bringing forth the invisible one. And
Invisible one.
the invisible one. Bringing forth the invisible one sounds like just the sort of thing that would fling a bed out of a room and into someone who was, you know, looking into this building, wouldn't you say?
Probably. Oh my gosh.
I know this is a lot to take on board, but I really do believe that the key to finding out whatever is going on in that house relies in these journals. And I think for safety's sake, Duncan, keep your money. I don't need any. The only payments I require is no longer going into that house.
Well, of course, but honestly, I wouldn't say wasn't gonna say it before, as I didn't. Well, I couldn't really. Well, it was crazy, but I did see the blood you're talking about. But I don't know. I wasn't assailed. I mean, I think it's because I was planning to leave from the moment I got in there, but I wasn't assailed. Honestly, I don't know what to do. I can't rightfully sell it. Honestly, if any of you are willing to get rid of this force, whatever it is, I'd be willing to double the payment if that does anything. Or
How long ago did you see the blood?
long ago, well, I went there and looked out about a month ago after after Gabriella went nutty, but then I immediately left.
So it's been bleeding for over a month. Would I know how long a corpse?
A corpse would bleed for not even a week.
Okay.
Like a couple of it would be a stretch of the imagination would be bleeding past 2 days.
Okay, that makes
goodness.
a lot of sense. So, even more suspicious, Duncan. I'm sure you know. Corpses don't bleed for very long. It is still bleeding after a month.
Well, I can't rightfully sell it. Can't leave it really. If, as I said, if any of you are willing to get rid of whatever it is, I'm willing to even assist you if needs come to must.
Believe me, if I knew how, I would. I believe something like this tends to sort of be in the realm of priests and exorcists. Does Arkham have any exorcists, DM? Would I know this?
Exorcists? No. There's a good number of priests, though, yes.
Would they be willing to do that? Do I know?
To exorcise the house? Probably to a feet of a church. Besides...
Okay, so I'll say, Duncan, you most certainly should ask some priests to exorcise the building. I'm sure whatever they ask you to pay to the church will be much less than us. and I think I can speak for all of us, especially a young like Kenneth here. I'm not the sort to thrust myself headfirst into danger, if you will. I hope you respect my decision, but I don't intend to go back in that house.
Yeah, I understand. You said there was journals, at least?
Yes, you may keep these. Give them to the priest. I've got books I would much rather read.
Of course.
Hey, Duncan.
Yeah?
How long did you say that other family was living in that house before they went insane?
Oh,
About
that reminds me.
a year and a bit?
A year?
Yeah.
Well,
Christ.
that's a long time to live in that house and not see anything strange.
I don't know. As I said, when I went there, it was rather tame. I don't know. That gives me an ominous feeling. Feels like.
just
So
say what time is
give him like a slight unconvinced frown.
Could you-
Tame. Blood dripping from the roof.
Question, Gordon.
Tame.
Could you roll
Yes.
me a? Could you roll me an idea?
Okay, I'll roll you an idea on ID 100. Let's find out. Oh, I rolled a 70 again.
That's a success still, isn't it?
I do believe, because my idea is in fact 90.
90, yes. So, from this knowledge, something sort of clicks, and you get the idea that whatever force is in this building, though contained by the building, if it has gained this much power, the ability to fling physical objects at people of that size, whatever is in there is certainly getting stronger than whenever Duncan entered.
Duncan, from various pieces of literature, either factual or fiction, there is a lot of sort of basis for this sort of thing, and I don't think it's unreasonable to say that whatever is in that house grows stronger by the moment, which is most certainly why nothing happened to you. It must have been in its earlier stages.
Damn.
And one thing before I forget, Joel, sir, thank you for lending me this weaponry, but against this type of foe, I don't believe it'll be much help. And then he'll open his coat and give him the knife and whatever else it was back.
He just takes it back and just like puts it back on like his leg, where he has, well, like his leg where he has just like this like holder for it.
Yeah.
I think we gathered some information about this Walter
Yes.
Corbett.
Walter Corbett, Esquire. I found his last will and testament.
So would Duncan be reading through those journals, or?
He would be, like, he'd be flicking through them, but if anyone else wants to read them, he does allow.
I'll read them through with Gordon.
Could you?
I know
I
said
would
I
like
don't
to
want- I
read
don't
as
want
well.
to.
Okay, so let's go Gordon first, as you did ask first.
Yeah,
could-
I'll
could-
look through the middle one. So which would be, let's call it book number 2, and
Yeah.
I read book number 1. Let's go through. Book
Okay, so
number 2.
yes, he reads book number 1. If you want to read book number 3, Kenneth, could you two roll me English rolls and occult if you have it?
Okay, so
English
the first
and
D100 is
occult.
30.
Okay,
So,
that's a
have
success.
English?
Does that count for
Where,
me too?
where's English?
English.
Oh, is that my English literature
Yeah,
thing?
English literature. Yeah,
Yeah, so 30 definitely passes when I have a 75.
and occult.
Occult 44, and my occult is, yeah, that's also a success. My occult is also 75.
So as you're sort of reading through it, though Duncan does say first, you said you had his last will and testament, Arthur.
Yes, that's right.
What did it say on there? Well, was it any reverend of Arkham to execute it, or was? Yeah.
Yes. The responsible pastor was one Michael Thomas.
At that, Duncan sort of pales a little bit. You mean Michael Thomas? That's not a name I've heard for. That's not a name I've heard for years now. He's what was this? The chapel of. It's not the. Not concentration. Chapel of... What do you... Does it say on the will? He was a pastor of some sort of chapel.
One sec. I just need to open it up. Because I can't.
It's the Chapel of Contemplation.
The Chapel of Contemplation.
Yes. He pales a little bit more. He says, if I know a little bit about that, they were believed to be, incidents involving the neighborhood kids be going missing. There was a raid on their establishment. Burnt to the ground. Lots of people killed, if I last remember when it happened. It was big news. And I remember hearing that said Michael Thomas sentenced maybe 40, maybe 50 years in prison. So I believe counts of murder. Though he, last I heard, I think he escaped and fled the state.
Well, that doesn't sound particularly good, does it?
No, not at all.
But get this, in the will and testament, the third item on it was that Walter himself said that he wished his body to be interred in the basement of said house. Doesn't that strike you as a little odd?
Basement?
It does. Especially because one thing I remember is that the basement was locked.
Oh, that reminds me. He says I forgot to give you a key. I don't know why. It sort of slipped past my mind. I don't know why it slipped past my mind, but yeah, I have it here. And
I don't think that'll be of much use to me. Right
yeah,
now.
I know, but just, I don't know. It just sort of went past me. And he places it into the middle of the table.
Evelyn would
if you
sort
could
of eye it.
excuse me a quick moment, I need to go to the bathroom. We'll be back in a second.
Okay.
I wonder what it was feeding on.
Jesus
I mean, if
Christ.
it's demonic,
Got
it'll feed off of
Got
human.
I'm in a lot of pain.
Got
Do you
flipping
want me to
owned
roll
by a
another
bitch.
first aid now that we're in the house?
Oh my god. Ah! God, I love
I
this.
could roll a medicine check on him to see, like, how
Yeah,
much
I've already
actual
done
damage is
first
done,
aid.
and then I could do a first aid on top.
For the record, my first aid is actually 75, so...
Same,
My first aid is 50.
my medicine's 50.
Just
Why
saying.
is Gordon
Just saying.
by fucking ghost?
You got
Just
attacked
saying.
by a ghost bed.
Just saying.
More
For
better
the
Gordon than
journal.
Evelyn or Wesley. How's Wesley doing, by the way?
Wesley, he's calmed down.
I
He's
have
sort of-
returned.
Wesley
Hello.
sort of like
That's quick.
flopped on her lap on the sofa.
Well, I was just urinating, so...
It was just bladderdump.exe.
Oh my god.
But yes, have I missed anything, or...
No.
No.
I'll go back second.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give a moment and then come back, and then we can go, because I'll go over what is gathered from reading through Corbett's diaries. Yeah?
Oh yeah, did I tell you my...
what was your English and your occult?
Occult. My English was 50, and my English is...
It's 50, so that's a success.
So,
What do you get for your occult, though?
and for occult, I got... wait, let me check. A 5.
Oh, shit, son. Tick your occult, please.
Yay!
Good job.
Could
I
could
know
Evelyn
stuff
read the
about
first one while
occult!
they're doing
Yay!
What's that, sorry, Evelyn?
that? Could Evelyn sort of skim through the first one while they're doing that?
Yes, you could do. So as I said, sort of similar thing as you skim through it, you learn of the it's the journal of one Walter Corbett Esquire. He owned the house for a good number of years, and as he words things weirdly and makes notice to the Chapel of Contemplation and Church of Our Lord the Grant of Secrets, the Harmonic Order of the Silver Twilight, which is an organisation still functioning in Arkham and Boston.
Is that the one that he mentioned his wife was in?
Yes, the auxiliary. So basically, the regular Harmonic Order is a fraternity, so males only. But there's an so they also do like charity work and that sort of thing, like just for the community. And the auxiliary is what basically the women doing all the footwork as well.
Well, in which case you'd sort of like call Duncan over and say, "We might want to talk to your wife."
What about?
A sort of connection here, and she'd sort of flip to the page and show him the names of the.
Thing. That's why I'll certainly need to keep an eye on her and ask her. Though she spoke good things about it, they're all fairly pleasant people. So but yeah, I'll talk to her about it. That's mildly worrying.
I wonder if they know any of the tenants who used to live in the house.
Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they know a lot of people in the Harmonic Order. They're a good collection of high-class social standing people. I was invited to it, actually, but too busy with my work to go to parties and go out to charity funds and the sort.
I feel like her eyes would sort of light up and she'd be like, "Did you get a date on it?"
Well, they host meetings up there, I believe, once a week, maybe. Up in the at the fraternity, of course. Well, I don't think you'd be allowed in there, but the auxiliary, they don't really have a lodge. The auxiliary, they're just sort of like a members club. They sort of send letters to each other and the sort.
Well, is there any way I could contact them?
Yeah, of course. I could. Well, get in contact with the people my wife spoke to.
That's fair enough. I'd like to speak to both parties if that's possible to organise.
Probably organise meetings with the people in the fraternity, but probably not, obviously, in their lodge. Males only, of course. We need our space as well, he says with a bit of a laugh. But, are you back, Jacob, as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so through skimming the books, you learn... Let me quickly bring up... with working together, you do manage to go through all of it. Could Gordon and Kenneth Damilo add +4 to your Cthulhu Mythos skill? And you lose 3 sanity points.
Yay. 3?
Yes.
Oh,
But
So what does Cthulhu Mythos actually do?
So if you see a horrible gribbly, you can use Cthulhu Mythos to say, "I know what that horrible gribbly is." Basically.
What was Cthulhu Mythos again?
Where is it?
No, like what? How much?
Oh,
did I get
+4. So you and Gordon get that. It describes Corbett's various occult experiments, including a summoning or some strange magics, he says, for a technique called to bring forth the invisible one. He also describes a way to preserve the body and until it has reached beyond that of men, and keep the spirit to live forever, attached to said body.
That might explain the blood.
Which you can assume, if magic does in fact exist, which I don't know your skepticism on the subject, that would be an explanation. It also describes his hiding place in the basement.
Oh god.
Well,
It doesn't have, but it does say that basically this is some way, you can gather this is some way to go beyond mortality.
okay.
Duncan is visibly shocked by this and doesn't know what to think. So I don't even... though, let me quickly roll you a luck roll. Luckily, there's a side note on the diary which says that basically says basically get Michael to block the hiding space. Can't let body die.
Okay.
That's what you learn.
Well, Kenneth is visibly shaken by
Yes.
this.
That's it. This book pertains to creatures and some strange gods. A name you see written throughout is it's hard to pronounce, but it's like Yog Setheth, or maybe like Yog Sothoth. You don't know.
You go.
Actually, that's the name of Pluto in the Cthulhu Mythos. Where do you think I got the name from? Yog Sothoth is how it's written. It doesn't give any information, but it's a name given with adjourning to what is known as the Gatekeeper. You do not know what that means either. You would need to do more investigation into that to figure out, maybe, like more research into strange tomes. It also has a final bit of information.
I've been muted for so long. What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
I've been talking to myself. God damn it.
But yeah, so as a final bit of
What was the
information,
last thing you remember me saying? Just so I get caught up on where it was.
I can't remember. Really? I think you've been muted since I went to the bathroom. So
I wanted to.
yeah. You wanted to
Hold on. I wanted you to write down in the Discord that thing that you said before. The information that we found.
Oh, what, in the diary? So basically,
his experiments and such.
yeah, so he had occult experiments. Spelled wrong, but it doesn't matter. Occult experiments. It describes clearly describes the technique for to bring forth the invisible one. To physically learn what he has written, you think might take a couple, one sec. It might take
Oh, specifically, I just
like
wanted
5
you to
weeks to
write in
learn.
the Discord so I could put it in my notepad.
Yeah, I know. I'm writing it down. I had to draw some
Alright.
stuff in Invisible 1. He said it took him 8 weeks to learn this skill. It explains that he has a hiding space in the basement. He had he had this ability or some sort of spell, as it's described, to basically keep his soul alive until his body has matured. Until body has matured. And finally, he last few things is he asked Michael, assumedly this Michael Thomas, to hide his hiding space as he can't let his body die.
Yes, this is very unnerving.
And finally, it has the address and location of the Chapel of Contemplation. But it is written here, and it's written here instead of the second thing, which is in Hall of Records, which is Church of Our Lord, Grant of Secrets, Church of the Gatekeeper. That is what you find for his diary. As I said, you gain +4 to Cthulhu Mythos, and you lost 3 sanity from reading it.
Oh yes, I love becoming insane from reading things.
Don't go insane, Gordon. Fuck's sake.
I've got 39 sanity left.
Oh,
Oh shoot. I've got 82.
yeah, I can see. Kenneth's like, wow, this is pretty freaky, eh, Scoob?
Wait, why did
He's not, he's freaked
It's
out, but
gonna
he's
be the
like,
last
I
one.
need
Why
to
did I
keep
start?
calm.
5?
Pun?
Why did I start at 45?
It's your power times 5.
Oh, of course. Yes, and I'm not
Yeah,
very
you
strong.
have the same power as good old Joel has.
Yeah.
Would you... So, as a note, just sharing this information with your comrades will not incur sanity losses to them. It's just by reading the tomes that you go loopy.
Oh, good.
So
yeah, I'm physically shaken by this. I'm
The
just
rest-
like,
the rest of you learn that, and Duncan sort of goes, well, damn, I don't even know if some sort of pastor could solve this. This doesn't sound Christian at all. It doesn't even sound satanic. I don't know about you, but I don't know, I feel obligated. I gotta go there and I gotta stop this. I don't know what it is, but I gotta stop it.
I wouldn't suggest blindly going into that house.
Of course. I don't know. I don't know what I can do. Sounds
Well,
like if we just send a reverend, he'll go in there blindly himself and get himself killed.
Well, Christian or otherwise, this does sound like the sort of job for a religious man. It might pay us to get a group,
Maybe.
as opposed to just the single.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I need to think this over a little bit. You okay giving me like an hour?
Sure.
I need to go have a cup of coffee. You can deliberate if you want. I understand not wanting to.
What time is it right now?
It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I see.
The rain makes it feel more like it's about 7 o'clock.
Yeah, like it's been pittering a little bit all day. I need to bring up, actually as a reference, I need to bring up some more.
Can I ask this question out of context?
Sure.
Does sanity restore over time?
Yes, it does.
Permanent loss. Okay, cool.
So you restore sanity by solving adventures and cases, and by going to see a psychiatrist.
And also, my health. What is
Hit points. You gain a d6 if you're being looked after by someone with medical knowledge. Basically every week. If you're just having bed rest, you gain 1d4 a week. Though luckily, between cases, it's a couple of months, so you're normally at full capacity by the time the next case happens.
So,
Does our HP increase?
No. Unless you can actively improve your constitution or your size, which you can't improve your size, by the way.
what was my base health?
Your base health, I'll bring it up now because I haven't edited your character sheet. Luckily.
Because my base health is 8 hit points.
Yeah.
So I am
So
very
basically,
squishy.
that fall might have killed you, just full stop. Gordon Hastings, close. Your base hit points is... let's see, it's Constitution plus size divided by 2. So you have 13... Sorry, no, it's 4... It's... Let me quickly do some mathy maths. 14 plus 15 divided by 2. 15 hit points was your base. You're at 9. But yes, so
Wait, 15 was my base?
yes, because it's con plus size divided by 2.
So, would I restore any health from sleeping?
Sleep again, like a week of like just not exerting yourself, you would.
Jesus Christ, this is brutal. You don't even get HP back. Fucking long rest, like some D&D shit.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you work out your hit points?
It's your constitution plus your size, then you divide it by 2.
Oh shit.
So yeah, so what do any of you discuss, if anything?
I'm just slightly, this man is insane, just completely unhinged.
Oh, by the way, Evelyn, can I have my gun back, please?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I almost forgot.
You
And
get
she sort of-
you get your .45 back and you cradle it like it's your child.
It is my child.
It's okay, baby, I'm right here, I'm
I
right
gave
here.
birth
baby.
to it during the war.
Oh god.
it came out of me.
It might have been stabbed into me by the shrapnel, but
He's gonna like.
From that
start
point
putting
on,
it
we
in
had
his
a
gun.
bond.
Like at this point, Joel can like take apart the 4-5 and put it back together.
yeah,
again
well, yeah, you're in the
his
military.
sleep.
In the military, yeah, you can probably disassemble weaponry and everything like it's the back of your hand.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Just start cleaning the parts of it.
Evelyn's
Yes,
gonna look up to Kenneth, who's going a bit pale, and sort of go, "You alright, hun?"
Arthur's going to go over to the window, smoke his pipe, and just look out into the rain, just contemplating what's going on.
He's just
Oh, can I go up to Gordon and just offer him a swig?
I'm kind of...
Might ease the pain a bit.
I appreciate the offer, but I'm still not a drinking man. So.
It takes the edge off of it. But it's your choice.
He kind of just like puts it back into his like.
I'm rather tired. I feel like I'm concussed from the fall. I know it's the afternoon, but Duncan, do you mind if I spend the evening here?
Yeah, he sort of looks up from his coffee. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We got got a second guest bedroom.
Oh,
Just-
excellent. Do you mind if I retire to there?
Go ahead.
Looks after him as well.
And Gordon will, he's going to go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
pick out like the last tiny bits of shards of glass and such, and then just sort of take off his shoes, obviously.
Yeah.
And I imagine he would just be in his underwear, sort of under the sheets, just like, what a day.
It's only It's only 3 o'clock.
It's only 3 o'clock.
What did
and
Evelyn
this is
ask?
already
Evelyn
quite
asked
the-
me.
Quite the day.
Speaking of rooms, where's everyone staying?
Well, I'm already staying here. So,
I got an apartment down the road.
what
I
did
Go there.
I have another apartment down the road.
That's fair enough.
Evelyn ask me?
Oh, she just
Gordon
asked if
has
you
a
were
house.
okay.
I wasn't expecting this. I thought things would be calmer here.
Less
He
demonic.
just like sits down, just like, I don't know what to think.
Well, it is a mystery. It's a real mystery.
But yes. So what is your plans?
Arthur's thinking. In fact, he's going to start pacing now.
Gordon doesn't actually have any plans. His plans are to go back to living normally,
I just want to live a quiet life.
but with
Gives
less hand murdering.
less being thrown out of a flippin'.
Window
Yes.
by a bed.
By a bed, yeah.
That's not something we hear every day.
Is there anything else we'd be doing today with this group and this?
Unless you want to investigate the house further, or go there again. It's up to you.
Were
Well,
we originally going to
You've got
go to the...
You've got a couple of leads. You've got the Macarios. You've got the Chapel of Contemplation, which is not too far away. It's off a side alley.
Asylum. We got the asylum as well.
Yes, you've got the
Okay.
Asylum. You know that he was connected some way to the Harmonic Order of the Silver Twilight, who are a old organization stretching back maybe like 2-3 decades, maybe 4, in Boston, and now recently in Arkham. But it's not that far to get to Boston from Arkham, so you can assume there's probably a couple of members in Arkham itself.
I see.
Right.
Duncan's still thinking.
Arthur's still thinking. In fact, could I roll idea just to see
You-
if I can think of something?
You could do.
Okay. 70 exactly. Idea is 60.
You draw a blank for a long while. The most you can think up to deal with this situation would be to go through this, to go into the house, to bash down this wherever this hiding place is, and just blow his brains out or set him on fire. That's as logically as you can get with this current situation.
So, Arthur's going to, after thinking about this, turn to everyone else and just say, I suppose one of our best plan of actions is to go back to the house, break our way into the basement, and blow this guy's brains out. Because he's much too dangerous in his current state, and he'll only get stronger the longer we leave this.
And what if it's not that easy?
It probably won't be. But I don't have any better ideas.
I'll maybe come back with something better to suit the situation than just a couple of shotguns. Gordon was thrown out of a second-story window by a bed.
I know. To be honest,
I
I'm
think we should-
open. I'm open for other suggestions.
We
At the very least, we should consult a priest.
could try the other places we know about and connected to this guy.
I suppose talking to the tenants would be a good idea to start.
Who is
If
it?
there's even any tenants alive.
Well, you know there's
Well, we have the ones...
yeah, there's the ones in the sanatorium who you haven't read that they aren't alive. There's no obituaries for them in the newspapers, so or in the records, so
It may give us a better idea of what we're dealing with than just demonic beds.
I agree.
okay. Does anyone else agree with that?
Yeah, it seems like the best plan we got.
So, where is it you'll be going then?
By the sound of it, we're off to the same
By the way,
floor.
Harrison,
Yeah,
how long will it take for Joel to go to his apartment?
not long. Are you gonna go and get your machine gun? That's what I'm assuming.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
He's gonna get his machine gun and his one grenade.
Are you going to take it to the sanatorium,
I was gonna say, that's not very good. They'll put you in there.
or are you gonna like leave it at Duncan's and then pick it up?
I'm gonna leave it at Duncan's.
Oh, okay, cool. I would not suggest going into a sanatorium with a Tommy gun strung across your back, holding a grenade and a pistol.
Speaking of leaving things at Duncan's, if we're heading out again to a sanatorium,
Do you wanna
would it
leave-
be alright if we could leave
Yeah,
Wesley here?
yeah. Where Duncan has no qualms with that. He's thinking.
Okay, wonderful.
So, God, this is the wrong music.
We're going to a sanatorium.
This plays.
We're gonna
Like,
meet
everyone's just
insane
like-
people.
This-
yeah,
this
we're
place-
all going to die.
This plays as your main character hangs himself.
Oh god!
Okay, let me. Is that the music I'm looking for? Okay, no, that's far too dramatic. One sec. In's mouth. Call of Cthulhu. Dark corners. OST.
You know, I have my music box. Should I play that?
No.
That's terrifying.
That actually is.
I am going to bring this one day over to one of your houses. Gonna stand at the end of your bed and just play it slowly as I cock my head.
Joke's on you. You'd be in the bed. I'd like to
Okay.
see you stay unflustered then.
Hee hee.
Jesus
Okay.
Then
Christ.
who'd be the person cocking their head?
Okay, so one sec. Give me a sec to quickly sort out my internet. There you go.
Cut the audio.
Cannot do with you right now.
So, as you oh, hello. Is anyone there? Or is that my computer not liking me?
Hello?
Mr.
Hello.
DM?
Hello, sorry.
Hello.
My computer was not liking me. I think I've got too many things open. I'll quickly close some stuff. Because I've got a lot of them.
New one.
Hello, sorry. I've got a lot of tabs open. I'm gonna quickly close a bunch of them.
By a lot of tabs, I mean, I assume you have more than 15.
Yeah, I had a lot. For reference. There you go. Sound of ambience. Okay. So, as you so you make your way up to Arkham Sanatorium, or the Arkham Asylum. It's a imposing, massive building with what you assume is far too many cells.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The receptionist is a rather grim-looking, like 30-year-old man, dishevelled. Doesn't look to be enjoying his job. He's so he goes, and what do you want? Visiting?
Yes, if you could.
Who is it? He says, bringing open a book.
What's the name of the people?
The name is Gabriella Macario, or Vittoria Macario, depending on which one you want to see.
Probably Gabrielle, because she seems to be a bit more willing to
Would
talk.
it be possible to speak to both today?
Speak to both? Well, none of them get visitors, so yeah, I don't see why not.
Wonderful. In which case, I think we should split into teams. 2 of us can go to talk to one of them, and the rest can talk to the one more willing to speak.
Okay, sure. So who would go and see Gabriella? So the party right now is Arthur, Evelyn, Joel, and Kenneth, because Gordon is sleeping, I believe.
He's
Kenneth would definitely want to see the lady.
catching up on his health.
Yeah. So okay, so
Kenneth
Kenneth.
would definitely want to see the lady.
So
Not...
Kenneth is going to Gabriella. Who else is going to Gabriella?
I will see the more insane one, if that's alright.
Okay.
I'll go with the less insane one.
Okay, so Kenneth and Joel are going to Gabriella. Arthur, are you okay going to Vittoria?
Huh?
Who are you? Did you go to the asylum?
Yes.
Who would you go to see? So Evelyn is going to see Vittorio, the more insane gentleman, whereas the other 2 are going to Gabriella, the less insane one.
Well, it wouldn't be right to leave Evelyn. Evelyn? I don't know.
Evelyn. Sorry,
Evelyn.
that's my fault.
Evelyn. It wouldn't really be right to leave Evelyn to interrogate this one guy by herself, so Arthur's going to go with Evelyn.
Okay, so the clerk, who goes by the name of Robert, calls over some assistants. Rather big, burly men, and you're led over to the separate cells. So we're going to go with Vittorio first. So Arthur and Evelyn. You hear screaming and clawing and all sorts of horrible noises, and there's foul smells of bodies close together, sweat, excrement, all sorts of fluids.
Oh, wonderful.
As you're led down to the to a more isolated room, padded. And you see on the inside is his arms aren't strapped together, but he's only got a bed made of half polished metal, not really well cared for. He's got a small desk with nothing on it.
Mm-hmm.
The orderly sort of focuses, good luck. No, not got much out of him except rambling and screaming. And there's a loud clunk as the lock is pulled, and this man sort of looks up wildly as the door opens, and you 2 are allowed in.
Evelyn would sort of step in cautiously and, in a rather composed manner, sort of wave her hand in a "it's okay, we're just here to talk, don't worry."
He
Sort of.
eyes you wildly and madly, but he doesn't actively resist.
Okay. Well, she just sort of... Is there anywhere to sit? Is there like
There's a desk with a chair. The orderly does say, I can get you another stool if that helps. Just give me a moment.
That would be nice. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but Arthur, do you go in?
Yes.
So the door is closed behind you, but there are other orderlies stationed around, so just make a loud noise if something goes wrong.
Okay.
And about 5 minutes later, he said he'll be back with another chair.
Well, she'd take a seat in the already existing chair.
Yes.
And she'd
Already
sort of
existing.
give him
As you walked in, it phased into reality.
yeah,
No.
it just materialized.
Yeah.
She'd sort of shrug and go, seen weirder things today.
That doesn't happen, by the way. But yes.
Well, yeah, she'd take a seat and sort of give him a polite nod and say, not been keeping you very well here, have they?
What do you want? What do you want? He asks.
Well, we're here to talk to you.
What about? Is it about
That
them?
house.
About it?
No,
I've
no,
already
no.
had enough questions about it.
No, listen. I'm not sure what the it is you're referring to.
Oh, you know what it is. They all know what it is.
Would you care to explain to me what it is?
You're saying as
So
if
we're
you
on the
don't
same
know.
page.
It's there.
Well,
It's always there.
I see. You were staying at a house owned by one Duncan.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Well. Well, you most definitely were. Believe me.
What do
I've
you
seen
know?
photos. Enough. And she'd sort of like narrow her eyes. I went there today with a colleague of mine.
You with it?
I wouldn't say I'm with it. We had an experience. My friend was thrown out of a second-story window by a bed, seemingly throwing itself.
Sounds like it.
contorting out.
Has eyes. Eyes everywhere. Stare at you. At night,
see.
in your dreams. From the basement. It's everywhere.
That
And
doesn't
it's
sound
gonna,
like fun.
it's gonna kill you as well. As it's gonna kill me and it's gonna kill everyone.
I see. So
Spirit
this thing's
Talum.
dangerous. So it's very dangerous. Huh?
One sec, give me a second. Spirito. That's what it is. Spirito.
Pardon?
Spirito.
Is
Spirito.
that its name?
None of you know Italian?
French and Spanish.
Yeah, you have a vague idea. You think you might be saying like ghost or spirit, but you're not sure. He quickly dissolves into shouting Italian words at you.
Why
Evelyn
does
would
he
once
sound
again
American
sort
if
of.
he's Italian?
Because I can't do an Italian accent, basically.
Well, American Italian. Like, hey!
Hey, buddo!
Hey,
Hey,
go,
big
go.
Joey! Hey, Big Joey! Spirito is gonna kill you, buddy!
Can Evelyn sort of
Super
can Evelyn roll a persuasion to try and calm him down?
You can roll me a psychoanalysis to try and calm him down.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, considering that's a 1, I don't think that'll work.
Good luck if you want to roll it.
Let's see. 55. So no.
He begins raving more. He starts screaming.
Wonderful.
He grabs onto the bed and basically shouting what you can assume are threats of death in Italian.
Wonderful. She's gonna give like a really slow face palm and just sort of rise to her feet and sort of plod towards the door. And as she does so, she'll sort of turn back and go, I was trying to help you here.
He's not listening to you, he's just shouting.
Oh, well, in which case, I don't think we're gonna get anything else out of him.
No, I don't think so either.
If-
So,
If we deal with this thing in the basement, it might be an idea to come back.
possibly.
He seems to think he's being watched by it. So there's a good chance if it's destroyed, he may not feel so attached.
Yeah.
Well, we best go find the others then.
Yeah, so at that we can go to Joel and Kenneth.
Whoa.
You're led down a significantly, probably more clean hallway. The smells are still not pleasant, as the only way to release is through buckets in the cells.
Lovely.
So it reeks horribly.
Joel gives literally 0 fucks.
What kind of like people are in these cells? Are they Americans or are they mostly
A mix.
foreigners?
Sorry? A mix. Mostly American voices, you can assume, but you're not
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
You are then led. So you're led to a cell where on the inside there is a yeah, we can assume we can end it on you guys thinking up a plan, basically. So you are led into this cell. There's a woman. She looks quite disheveled, like mid-40s, early 50s. She's sitting there. This room isn't padded. There's like a bed with a sheet. table, she has a book she's reading. There she has a cross around her neck. She looks at you, not pleasantly, but oddly, as you are let in by the orderly.
Do you want to do something, or do you want for Joel just to be Joel?
I'm kind of waiting for Joel to go in first because Kenneth is still a bit skittish.
Alright, so Joel's gonna get into the room. And he's
Hello,
like,
what do you want?
you must be... Wait a second.
Gabriella.
You must be Gabriella.
Yeah, that's me. What do you want?
My name's Joel. This is, Kenneth.
Pleasure to meet you both. What do you want?
We've come to talk to you about, the house.
She visibly pales at the mention, but she does not
I
do
take it by your expression that you dislike the topic.
I've already been asked questions about it. Do I have to tell you again? Do I have to?
It would be beneficial, but if it's too much for you to handle, I understand.
But I don't know. It's there. It watches you. It drove my husband crazy. It talks to you in your sleep. It's there. It's always there. It's by the end, before I was forced running away. It threw things at me. It assailed me. It drove my children away. It's there. It's always there.
That's what we got as well.
She's began tearing up, by the way.
Can Joel, like, try to comfort her?
You can make me a psychoanalysis roll, please.
I'm not going to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Wait, let me check.
It's a 1%.
Oh boy.
I don't know if anyone has psychoanalysis as well.
No, it's so obscure.
Like, yeah, psychoanalysis is good for, like, basically analysing the situation of their personality and sort, and making
I've got
decisions.
psychology.
Yeah, I guess, like, psychology could be worked, but it's more of a long-term thing.
I don't have a psychoanalysis either.
So what would you roll for psychology then?
Psychology would be if you're analysing over a long period of time and trying to basically recover them mentally. So if you wanted to help recover sanity, you could use psychology over, like, the course of a week.
Oh, I see. I thought psychology did what psychoanalysis does.
Oh, right, no.
So I put everything into that. Oops!
Don't worry, psychology is good if you live long enough to use it.
Oh, wonderful.
But yeah, so you, it's just what she says. She says it's always there, it watches you. By the end, when I was running, had to run away, it threw things. Small things, knives.
When did the voices start?
Since we got there, we just thought they were bad dreams to begin with, but they got worse. And they got worse, and they got worse, and before the year was up, my husband ran away. He was taken, and then my children had to leave, and now I'm here.
That sounds tragic. I'm sorry to hear that. See, me and a few people, we were asked to look into this to see if we could solve the problem.
I don't even know if it can be solved. Jesus couldn't help. God couldn't help. I still ended up here.
Well, sometimes things need a more aggressive approach.
She sort of laughs a little bit. Aggressive approach. It's the devil. You can't kill the devil with aggression.
Well, I can sure as hell damn try.
You know, she sort of started silently crying a little bit.
Silently what?
Crying. She's not sobbing, but tears are flowing.
It's like, would you, like to take a minute just to, recollect yourself?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Me and Kenneth will wait outside. Say something if, when you're ready to continue on.
As you walk out, you notice behind you she has started actually sobbing and has began crying as the door closes.
Okay. Yeah, this seems like a very sensitive topic for her. This might take quite a few
This is
attempts.
horrible.
At which point can Evelyn and Arthur sort of catch up?
Yeah,
with
so
each
I
other?
can say by like a couple of minutes later, as you're waiting outside, the crying still hasn't stopped. It's almost reached hysterical levels at some points, but she's tried to contain herself. At that point, you sort of are led towards the rest of the group.
Did you get anything out of her?
Not really. All she said was the creature just watched. It apparently after a year started throwing things at them, kind of similar to what happened to you.
I see.
I'm having to like whisper Joel's voice so I don't wake up anyone else.
Yeah,
It's super fucking painful.
we can finish this off soon and then finish off this adventure later at a later date. Probably the weekend if you guys are free.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you able to persuade people to stop crying?
You.
Or is that
I
also
guess
psychoanalysis?
you could do probably mixed with either psychology or psychoanalysis.
Okay.
So you'd have to roll
Oh.
psychology and then persuasion.
Okay, cool.
The topic
Evelyn-
seems very sensitive for her, so I'm thinking it's probably best that we just let her cry it all out, and then when she's ready, then we start.
Joel is a surprisingly sensitive person.
Aww.
He's surprisingly a nice guy.
Joel's
How
been to a war.
long do you reckon it would take her to
I think-
calm down?
Maybe like 5-10 minutes.
I think
Okay,
Joel,
in which case we'll wait it out.
like, because he's been through some shit, he kind of understands the feeling, probably.
Yeah,
You can sympathise with PTSD.
yeah. Eventually,
Oh,
the crying does stop, and there's a small at the door, an indication
Okay.
of that.
Alright,
You can come back in if you want.
Would it be alright if I
uh,
joined you?
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Wonderful.
Alright, so we'll make our way in. It's like
She seems a little surprised at the sudden group of people, but she doesn't say anything.
These are the people I was talking about. This is Evelyn. She's
Please
more of
don't
a
mind
people
that.
person.
We're here to help you. We're looking into your case.
Well, thank you, but as I said to your friend, I don't know if it can be solved. It's the devil. You can't
Indeed.
slay the devil. Not with
We can't
mortal
slay
guns.
the devil. But maybe we don't intend to. But we do intend to get you some justice, to get you out of here.
I appreciate the care.
It's alright. Can I roll a psychology to see if she is like actually insane or if she's just sort of been chucked in here along with her husband?
Yeah, roll me psychology, please.
Okay.
Can I do psychology too?
You can do.
64.
Yeah,
and mine is a...
she's just a poor old woman who's been thrown in here.
Oh god. You're not supposed to be in here. I
right.
think I understand the situation.
My
You see, me and a
psychology's-
friend we were looking around your house. Duncan, he's asked us to look into it.
Oh, the old landowner.
Yes, the old landowner. Anyway, me and a friend, we were looking around the place, and on our way out, we got attacked. We had a bed thrown at us. He ended up taking a fall through the second-story window.
A bed. Is he okay?
Yes, he's quite fine now. He's back at the landowner's resting.
Oh, at least he's okay, but that's just a sure show of strength that it's the devil.
I know. She'd sort of walk over and sit down on the bed and place a hand on her shoulder and go, I know it's a very, very sensitive topic for you, but we need all the information on this we can get if we're going to try and sort it out.
Well, my oldest son, before he was taken away, he's 16 now. He went down into the basement. We never went down there. It was evil. We didn't want to go down there.
I see. Was it evil from the moment you moved in?
Yes, we just didn't. It just didn't feel right. Do you know?
I see. And she'd sort of like nod in agreement.
Then he went down there to try because he thought maybe it might have been down there. and I remember there being some strange little scuffle, and he came back saying that there had been a knife. He was assailed by a knife. He didn't explain it any further, but I think it might have been like the knives that were thrown at me and the plates before I left.
I see. Well, we'll be sure to look into it. Can you give me a description
of the knife?
Of the knives?
He said it was very rusted, and he managed to stop it by picking up a nearby garbage lid, and it got stuck in the metal. Then he sprinted back up.
Of course. And these strange occurrences, they were there from the beginning.
Yes, right from the beginning. Right from the beginning.
I see.
Did they progressively get worse during your time there?
By the end of the year, it shouted and raved at my husband and sent him here.
I see. I did attempt to speak to your husband earlier, and I didn't manage to get any information.
Is he doing okay?
She'd sort of pause for a moment and go, "He's well."
Good.
So, as I can imagine, you know his state of mind.
I know, but if he's doing well, that is good. She smiles a bit hopefully.
I apologise if this seems insensitive, but you never had a encounter with blood dripping from the ceiling, would you?
She sort of pauses for a bit. I recall there being blood sometimes, but it would go away and then it would maybe come back in the first bedroom on the left. We never used it. We left it as it is. We used the far end one. I don't know, something about that first bedroom felt a bit, I don't know, personal? Not to us, but to someone else. I don't know.
I see. So you never checked above the room?
No, there was no entrance to the attic. The attic is merely just open space.
I see.
There's no hole, so there's no way any birds could have gotten up there.
Evelyn would sort of nod and give her a very solemn, "Listen, I completely believe you. We've had the same experience, and we do intend to do something." She sort of
thank you.
Rises to her feet. She'll sort of turn to the others in the room and go, "I think it might pay to talk to tenants as far back as we can. Maybe even the first people to move in. See where all this started."
As I know, it was constructed. The building was constructed in. Let me quickly get out the notes in 1835. So if the merchant who built it would be at least over, I think, 90. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we should at least try and look back into the records of people, see if there's any cause of the things going on.
I think that'd be the best course
I
of
agree.
action.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay. So what are you going to do?
Joel's going to turn around and thank the woman for her time.
She nods and.
On the way out, what's the door number?
It is 267.
Brilliant. Who would be in charge of maintaining the rooms?
The sort of a ward manager. Oh, wait, maintaining the rooms?
Yeah, just
like orderlies, basically.
Okay.
Sort of rotates about, but there's normally a general cleanup crew for the separate corridors.
Okay, so if she wanted to bribe someone with money to sort of making sure that woman's room's exceptionally well kept and not smelling disgusting,
that would be like the area manager, I don't know what it'd be called, like the section manager, I guess, for that specific part of the asylum.
I see. Would she be able to go up to the person at the desk and sort of go, "I'd like to speak to the manager"?
Well, if you have any complaints, we won't be surprised, but yeah, I can get him for you. Which part?
Where was the room in?
Yeah, it's 267. Yeah, 267. Well, yeah, I can get him. He comes back with a man called Henry. He looks a bit. What is it you want, Miss?
Not quite a complaint, she'd say. And there's a woman in there. I think she's been wrongly accused of insanity. But I would rather.
Well, that's what they all say, ma'am.
Well, either way, she'd sort of pull out. What would be the equivalent of like a decent payoff?
Well, $1 is $10. So.
Okay, well, she'd pull out like $5
Okay,
and sort of scoot it across the table and go, I want her room well kept, I want her well fed, and I want her well clothed.
He sort of look at it and look at you and just sort of shrug. Yeah, sure, fine by me. Yeah, 'cause it's not that big a deal, and then he pockets the money.
Wonderful.
And Joel also go up to him as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure. He looks a little bit more intimidated by you than the scrawny actress.
Well, very persuasive actress. She'd sort of just give him a very quaint, almost sarcastic smile and go, "We'll be watching."
And yes, sir.
The woman in that cell. She doesn't seem to be insane. She just seems to be suffering from PTSD.
Well, she's committed, so I can't rightfully release her without a couple of good doctor's signatures. So
It might be an idea to at least try to get her some form of, I don't know,
And I'm trying to find a thing.
recommendation?
more of a psychiatrist.
Well,
I know someone I might be able to talk to.
well, if you're willing to get him to work on her, then I won't be against it. Gives us more space.
Fine, I'll get into contact with him as soon as possible and send him in.
Fine by me. He gives you his number for a Henry Wellbeing.
Interesting name.
Ironic name.
What a name.
Alright, and with that,
He
Joel's
served in the war and he was a general.
And Gordon Hastings was thrown out the window with haste.
Lots of haste. But yeah,
I'm
so
referring good old whatever her name is to a person called Dr. Robert Kleeman.
but yeah, so what would you say your next order of business? And we can either end the session now, or if you're doing something, I think
It's
we could.
probably best if we go back to the library and see if we can look in the archives.
Yes,
yeah.
that's probably good.
I agree.
Good idea.
Okay, so and what is Gordon doing?
Still resting.
Okay.
Oh,
Probably
and
talking over with Duncan, I would imagine.
Yeah, Duncan
Like
has
Wesley flops over every now and again and sort of collapses on his feet
Duncan has
like
came
a ragdoll.
Duncan has came to the conclusion that he's going to hire he's going to go and get a reverend, and anyone willing to assist him in purging that place of evil is willing to join. And he said he'll wait for the others to come back.
As for Gordon's outtake and all of this,
Yeah.
he's not going to quite go back to ordinary life. I mean, he's going to have to because it's his job and
Yeah.
such. But he's not, withdrawing and not helping.
Yeah.
But he will, however, refuse to go into the house if possible.
Yes.
He will almost certainly be happy to help in any other way, though,
Yeah. Cool.
as long as it doesn't, make him go into that house.
Understandable.
But
So-
like researching things, finding any sort of help, he's happy to do.
Okay, so we finish off with you and Duncan having that conversation, and the rest of
Yeah.
you walk to the library to continue some research, and to hopefully figure out the final mysteries of the Corbett house, perhaps the Chapel of Contemplation, and whatever it is that is in that basement causing this horror.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and word of advice to people: don't bring in anything small.
Oh.
Okay.
The creature living there, whatever it is, has the ability to manipulate objects.
Yeah, don't
Ah.
bring your dog. They'll
Yeah.
throw Wesley against
Unless you want Wesley
Yeah,
to be
I think-
JoJo'd, I don't think you should have sent Wesley there.
No,
Not
Wesley will not
Wesley!
be going to the house.
Oh no, the bomb exploded going through multiple dogs.
Yeah, Joel's not gonna bring his grenade or
Gordon
his
was
pistol.
after Wesley.
But yes, so that's where we finish off. How did you guys enjoy that, if you did?
That was really
That
cool.
was
That
funny.
was awesome.
I almost died.
That was wonderful.
That was so creepy. I love it.
I've picked a horrible character to voice act. It fucking hurts. I have a newfound respect for you, Harrison, for voice acting all of the gravelly voiced characters.
Harrison,
Yes?
don't recover any-
You have no idea.
So what were you saying,
You have no
Nathan?
idea what I've been through.
Yes, do I recover any health? I assume no.
through the bed rest, you gain 2 hit points.
Cool, excellent. So now
Whoa.
I'm on 11 health.
I'm being generous and saying because of the healing applied through your friendo, your bed rest, you gain 1d2 of hit points.
What about sanity? Does the rest away?
Nope, not yet.
Don't think so.
So,
Now that we have ended the session, in fact, we can upgrade people's skills. So anyone got any tick skills?
I do.
Okay, what skills are ticked for you?
Occult.
Occult?
Yeah.
Your occult goes up by 9 points. Bringing it to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Bring it to 14%.
Wait,
Okay.
do you mean like things that got ticked
Yeah.
in the session?
Yeah, in the session. So you got something. Someone got listen, I believe.
yeah, I got listen and first aid.
First aid. Okay. So your listen. Oh crap! Baskets. There it is. Your listen goes up by 8 points. Do I have your thing open? Yes, I do. What is your listen currently? Your listen is 25. So 8. So it's going up to, what was it? 33.
I believe so.
25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 33, yes. And first aid? Your first aid goes up by 6. You guys are rolling incredibly high. This is never going to happen again, be warned.
Oh.
Not even for me fudging rolls. It's just first sessions. If you get high rolls, you're fucked. Did anyone else get any ticked things throughout the session?
I did.
What?
I got law.
Law. Your law skill increases by 3.
Law or law?
It's now to 8.
Do we untick them after that?
Yes, please do.
They just
I
keep
get
like
nothing.
advancing. Every
You
time.
get nothing. Good day, sir.
Yes, sir.
Harrison.
That was awesome.
Yes.
I
That was
very
amazing.
nearly got fucked on the first session, didn't I?
Well, you could. The worst comes to worst, you could have rolled. You could have gone unconscious if Evelyn already succeeded her first aid, so you would have been stabilized. So you wouldn't have died, but you could have been much worse for wear.
Just be
Probably.
glad you weren't me.
Yeah, with 8 hit
Yeah.
points, you would have gone straight unconscious. Next turn, you would have died.
Oh, yikes.
Just have to do
I'm
one
so
less.
lucky I had my little doggo.
Yeah, I love your dog.
He saved my life.
Hey Harrison,
Yes.
1 HP Call of Cthulhu challenge.
1 HP call. Okay, you open a door, the wind kills you.
The end.
Yeah, that's totally not gonna happen.
I'll be right back in a second.
Okay, that's it. I'll save everything.
my
I'll
God.
stop the recording, and then we'll finish it there. Save.
Lydia, please keep Wesley out of danger.
Oh, I will.
Yeah,
Wesley's
if-
not going back to that house.
Just like the video, and we'll keep Wesley
Nobody's
alive.
going in the
One
basement.
like equals 1 prayer if Wesley dies.
Oh no!
1 like equals 1 Wesley.
Come
This
on,
Wesley
your
Fudge
favorite
generation.
sandwich.
No, she'll still take Wesley with her if she's like going anywhere but the house, like
Okay.
or anywhere like innately dangerous.
I mean-
or they wouldn't allow dogs. Like
The house seems to be the most dangerous place at the moment.
But yes,
yeah. So
I,
if she's just leaving her house, she'll always take Wesley because it's like.
I'm going to quickly
it's like-
stop recording now.